In the words of Bill O'Reilly, we're live.
Oh boy.
Wednesday. How you guys doing?
Good. You?
Good.
Good. Mm-hmm.
Daryl, Joe, welcome as always. Our special guest this evening. You know him, you love him, you walk with him everywhere. Music
That's right.
Talk with John. How you doing, John?
I'm good. I'm ready to do it. Ready to do it. It's gonna be cool.
Good.
Yep.
Good. What's everybody been up to? How's their week been?
Good. Busy,
Yeah.
as always. Stuff at the shop, stuff not at the shop. Had the day off, but still went and did some things. And yeah, good.
Hey,
And
Richard, how you doing?
Getting nicer. We still have a buttload of snow, but it's going away. So it's more puddles and snow, actually, than anything. So it's not bad.
I saw you were hanging out with the world's largest moose and the snowbirds.
I was, yeah, exactly. So had to take something out to the guys, and happened to be out in Moose Jaw, which is, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes away. So thought I would throw a little trivia out there for a little promo for next Wednesday night for Racers Track Test Volume 2, Album 2, whatever the heck. So yeah, did that. It was fun, and it was a beautiful day out. It really was a nice day out today. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. For those that don't know, Americans like John, when we talk about the snowbirds, you're going to go, what the hell are you talking about? In the States, you guys have the Blue Angels, the U.S. Navy Air Demonstration Team. We have our equivalent called the Snowbirds, and they're based in Moose Jaw, not too far from where Joe is. So he was at a video where you can see that they have one of their planes on display in front of the Canadian Forces base. So that's where Joe was yesterday. So if anyone goes, what the hell's a snowbird? There you go.
That's what it is, and or a Canadian visiting Florida. There's John has seen plenty of snowbird down there. I'm sure
there's markedly less of those these days.
There is a lot less now. Yep.
How was speaking of your game show last week, Joe? How did that go?
It was good. Contestants were awesome. So that helped.
I heard the guy that won was just like a powerhouse genius. That guy.
He was. I don't think he got one wrong. I don't know. I don't think so.
No, he did get one wrong, I think.
Yeah, I think he got one wrong. I've tweaked it a little bit. I've included a little more guest participation versus just answering questions. There's some questions in there now you're going to have to actually answer. You're going to have to buzz in and answer and do that. We're going to make sure, because Daryl's going to come back, we're going to make sure that Daryl's working. His buzzer.
I'm going to try it on my son's tablet this time and see if that works.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll get together one evening and see. We'll do a test run behind the scenes and just make sure that stuff works. So, but it was fun. There were some people watching. Some people have watched after the fact, and I think it was okay.
Good.
Some fun. And that's the bottom line. Here to talk with friends about music and have fun. So all check marks. We're all
Mission
good.
accomplished.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mission
We
accomplished.
just need a longer commercial next time, though. That commercial is
Oh
not.
God, that was cringy. I'm watching that going, oh my God.
We're
Will this
working.
idiot shut up?
Yeah, we're working on a new one. We're working on it.
There you go.
It will be it'll be shorter probably. So, but we're working on a new one.
And that was old. That video was like a year and a half old, so it's pretty bad.
I thought you came across really well in it. So I know when we watch ourselves, we're not that big of a
Very
fan.
kind of you. I guess I'm more critical of my videos than I just watch it. Oh man, not that I watch my videos now and I'm like, it's okay. It's not good. The one back then was pretty bad. But,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? Richard's saying it is sunny and 70 in Denver today. Well, isn't that nice for you, Richard? We've been freezing our balls off up here.
Yeah.
But
That's all
I
right.
only hear
Richard,
about John's weather because it's nice and sunny. So
Richard deserves nice weather. That's right. How about the farthest participant this evening? How's the weather up there?
Well, last Thursday, the day my wife went out on the train, it was plus whatever and melting away, and all of our roads up here, none of them are paved, so it's just a mud bog and potholes whenever it's spring season. And then the last 3 days, it's anywhere between -5 and -20, so you can only imagine what that turns into. I cannot wait till it's over with. Because then come June and July, I'm going to do one of Rob's favorite activities, and me and my wife and kids are going to go camping for.
Oh, don't do that.
I'm selling my camper this spring, but not because Rob talked me into it. That's just the way that it happened. But maybe subliminally, all the complaining he did last year, or all the telling me I was an idiot going camping, maybe it actually, I don't know, wore off, wore in, whatever, I guess.
Oh, we just can't afford to stay in hotels anymore when it's $300 fucking a night for a room.
Yeah,
it's just
exactly
for me. Like in the north, the campgrounds in where we are north, it's like $32 a night.
Yeah,
for non-electric, and then $38 for an electrical site. So I know it's not for everyone, especially when you're up in our zone, man. It's just black flies and mosquitoes, but I'm used to that nonsense now. But you know what I found out though? My wife and I, as much as not everybody watches what's the name of that show now? I can't remember what it's called now. We just watched it last night, and I'm running my Handmaid's Tale. I found out that the very first episode of this season's Handmaid's Tale, if you look at the train that they're on at the very beginning, it's an Ontario Northland train. And some of the footage was in Cochrane, just south of where I am.
Oh, yeah, I know they filmed up there because they went to Canada Escape, the craziness, yeah.
Most of the show is filmed in Toronto and Cambridge, Ontario, which is 10 minutes down the road from here. So all the river scenes where they like hang the people or whatever, that's the Grand River in Cambridge. I drove right by it yesterday. They filmed some of it here in my hometown too. So
yeah,
I don't know exactly where around Cochrane they filmed it, but it's pretty neat they came up this far.
Yeah, I'd say. Speaking of
you want to hear something? You want one of your least favorite? Well, actually, one of your least favorite Canadian bands used to. There's like I don't want to call it a resort. It's like a local family that runs this kind of a camp thing down here. And the Tragically Hip, Gord Downey, and some of the Tragically Hip used to camp there once a year.
I just don't understand camping. It just does not make sense to me. Speaking of you being way up there, and I was thinking where John is, it's basically directly straight south of you as far as you could possibly go. So I just looked it up, and the distance between Daryl and John is 1,615 miles or 2,600 kilometers straight in a look at this in a straight line.
Oh wow,
that's pretty much straight. Yeah, exactly. That's crazy.
There you go. Couldn't get much further than that. 1,600 miles.
That's pretty much the distance I've walked in my videos so far.
Yeah, keeping track.
I bet. What's going on with you, John? What's happening down there in Florida?
I'm well, we're getting ready for Record Store Day.
Yes.
That's gonna be fun. Tomorrow I go in and we show what's in there. I don't know if they're going to show everything or not. We did a little preview video last week on their channel over on Kingfish. So starting to see the records come in, getting a little more excited. You know, it's funny, you see the list when it first comes out, and then stuff starts coming in, and you're like, oh, I didn't know that one was in there. Like that, the one with Warren Zevon with basically the band REM, was Hindu Love Gods. I didn't even realize that was coming out, so I might have to bring that one home. That looks like a lot of fun.
I'm actually going to Record Store Day for the first day in about 10 years because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 titles I'm looking for.
Well,
I'm going to text you later, John, because there's one that I'm desperate for, and I'm going to 3 places.
Okay.
If I can't find it, I'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe your guys might have it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because I think, this is no knock on Taylor Swift, but I think she's kind of rode the train. I think the train's running out of fuel a little bit.
Yeah.
Because usually
she's not one of the things I'm looking for, by the way.
Oh, I don't think anybody is, because what happened is I've talked to 3 different record stores, and they usually order about, beyond what they actually want because things get cut back and everything. All 3 record stores got exactly everything they ordered this time. So
interesting.
Yeah. It's probably good I don't know what she put out. I guess it's like something to do with Fortnite or something from the last album.
Yeah, the single for Fortnite.
Yeah.
I thought there was something with Post Malone too, wasn't there?
Yeah,
Or
that's
no?
the song he's on with her.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And he's the ambassador this year.
Alex wants to see my big 10-inch record.
There you go.
I'm going to show it to you, man, a couple times. Buckle your seatbelt.
Just make sure you cut the video.
So before we start, I think there's three excited as I hold up four fingers, and maybe a fourth excited for the news that came out. I sent it to you. You already probably knew the
Yeah.
Springsteen that's coming out. That must have been what the gentleman who I can't remember was talking about last week.
Yes.
Because I think that was the announcement. So, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be. I looked pre-order on the place not to go and buy your records from. God damn it!
Right.
Just under $500. I talked to my
Can't do it.
supplier. Yeah, I'm not sure what it's going to be, but it's 9 records though. So,
No.
well, it's 7, and then it's a double of a compilation of those 7. I think. I'm not
You can
positive.
get the you can get the double separately. Like you can get the
Yes. Yeah.
we'll call it the best of that
Yeah.
collection. I'm going to get that one because I can't justify $500 for the box.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to see how much it's going to be through my supplier because obviously it's going to be a little bit less if I just buy it for myself. But it's probably still going to be $400 probably. For
Right.
those that don't know what the hell I'm talking about, Springsteen, there's a decade of records that he has not put out that he finished over COVID and over the last little while. There's country stuff. There's stuff from in between Nebraska and Born in the USA that he didn't put out. There's a bunch of different stuff, some heavilier leaning country, if I understand correctly. That one album looks to be maybe a little more country than the rest. And it's all coming out in one shot. It's tracks 2, and it's all coming out in, I think, early May, wasn't it? Something?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if I can justify 500 Canadian, but what the hell? It's only money. I guess. I don't know. We'll see.
And you don't know what you're going to get either. Yeah, it's a thing.
No.
Mhm.
Well, I think you're going to get. I think you're going to get a little bit of everything. So I think that's going to be the interesting part. Now, as Rob said, there's going to be the compilation, which is probably like 2-3 songs off of each. That's going to give you a pretty good indication of. So maybe you buy that, and then if everything appeals to you on those, you say screw it, and then if you can, you go and buy the set too. I don't know.
I
We'll
think
see.
what I'm going to buy the compilation, and then I'll get the entire box. I'll just get it digitally because it'll be available.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm excited though. That's
I'm
awesome.
excited too. I can't justify.
Yeah, it's a
I
lot
mean,
of
there's
stuff.
only 1 or 2 artists I would spend $500 for. I really like the Boss, but not that much.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's exciting. All right, so I might as well get into it. Our topic tonight is anything but 12-inch LPs, and that literally means show anything. It could be a 12-inch single. It could be a picture disc. It could be a 10-inch. It could be a 7-inch. It could be, God forbid, a cassette, but you will get ridiculed if you show a cassette. It could be a CD. It could be memorabilia. It could be anything music related that is not a 12-inch album. So, before we get into what's Alex saying here, I do appreciate that these are lost albums and therefore new music, but not a box set of live songs you've heard 1,000 times. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. That's the plus side. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, John, you said you wanted to go last, right, John? Because you wanted to see what we were going to do?
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
So,
I'm shy.
Daryl, Joe, which one of you wants to go first?
Daryl, go ahead, my friend.
The floor is yours, sir.
All right. So why don't I just start with going with memorabilia first? So a few weeks back, in mid-show, Rob actually changed underneath my name to The Legend.
I did.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of explain maybe why that is there. So last year during the school year, I was just up at we have a music club that plays at lunchtime every now and again. I was just drumming on the drums. And this student of mine, well, she wasn't a student of mine at the time. I have her now. She came up to me and she's like, "Hey, it's The Legend." And I just started laughing or whatever it was. And I jokingly said, "Oh, if I'm The Legend, then you should get me something or something along those lines. Well, the next thing I know, she comes to school a few weeks later and she brings me a Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon t-shirt.
Nice.
It is to date, I've been teaching 20 years now, one of only 3 teacher gifts I've ever received in 20 years. That
Maybe you're a shitty teacher, Darren.
It could be. Then again, I could be just a high school teacher that they're too cool in high school.
Wow, yeah, that's true.
The only other ones I've received was a Tim Hortons $15 gift certificate and a grocery store card that I bought. Here's a funny thing about the gift certificate that I got at our grocery store. I said to my wife, I need more distilled water for my spin clean. And of course, a bottle of distilled water up here is fucking outrageously expensive. So I bought 2 bottles of it with this gift card. Instead of food for my kids, I go and I buy distilled water for my skin clean.
Gotta have the records clean.
Priorities, man. Priorities.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, so it's that on one side, and then it has that on the other side. So I thought it was a pretty cool gift. Never thought I'd get a t-shirt from a student, and she got the right size, I guess.
That's good.
Got an XL, and that's all that matters.
Those girls know.
And then of course everybody's favorite Canadian band, Nickelback. I got this from the $10 rack at Giant Tiger, and I have a few others. I've got a.
They should have given you $10 to take it.
I've got a Hendrix one and something else. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember the other T-shirt. I don't have too many music shirts, but I've got a few. So yeah, that's my first bit of memorabilia is the why I'm known as the legend. There's a student that just gave me that nickname and bought me a T-shirt.
It's not a bad nickname. There could have been a worse nickname. So
That's right.
that's a good one.
For sure.
That's right.
Okay, Joe.
Okay. 3 things, but 3 things quick. First off, we'll start with my buddy here.
Okay. Oh my God.
Godzilla.
Excuse
I
you, Joe.
talk about him often. I talk about the fact that I've seen the movie a billion times. The soundtrack over there, there's more posters over there. Always been a big Godzilla fan. So there's Godzilla. Second thing, why it's Racer Joe is I used to race. I used to race just locally, nothing professionally or anything like that. I was the announcer at the track forever. And then we bought a car and we started to race it. And that being the car there in one of its forms anyway, flames and such. It was a super, not a super stock. It was like a cast car, which is a Canadian version of a NASCAR, and that was ours. And then I've also got all my little toy cars, which if you've watched my room tour, so I've got my little slot cars, and there's just a couple of different ones, a couple of F1 cars. There's the Bandit. You can see the Bandit on there. So all the die-cast stuff. There's the Punisher car as well. There's that. And then for those of us from the 70s, there's the Starsky and Hutchmobile as well, the Gran Torino with the stripes. So that's why Racer Joe, because I used to announce at the racetrack, still do from time to time. I used to race. And then I've got all these silly little cars. Now, Rob, what are your thoughts currently on the Blue Jays? Because they're doing pretty good. And then I've got a picture that I want to show. You talk about the Blue Jays and I'll show my picture.
Wow. I could take 2 hours to talk about what I think about the Blue Jays right now. I mean, obviously the headline is that we have agreed on an extension for Vladdy for 14 years. And I'm going to choke on this. $500 million.
Yep.
How do I feel about that?
A lot of scratch.
It's way too much money. To lock someone up for 14 years is insane because he's not going to produce. He'll have 5 years. And I don't even know why we agreed to that because
a lot of
we've had him for 5 years already and he's 1.5 good years so far. So I'm glad he's a homegrown talent and we, lock him down for a while, but it's way too much money. That aside, Jays are doing okay. I think we're in second at the moment, and that's surprising. Disappointing that Max Scherzer is hurt, and I keep going forever and ever and ever. And no one else cares, but other than me. So go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
There you go. So, with that said, this is classic from, I don't know, there's not a date on here. Anyway, I'm not sure if you can tell who that is, but that's Kelly Gruber.
Kelly Gruber.
That's who that is. And Sky Dome, as it was known back in the day. And it is actually autographed to Joanne, all my best, Kelly Gruber, because Kelly was in town. We have our football stadium where the Rough Riders play. We didn't have a large enough baseball stadium, but the Jays came for an exhibition game. They played it at the football stadium, and Joe got to take Kelly all around Regina and kind of chauffeur him around and be his chaperone, for lack of the proper term. So he gave her this poster, and he signed it for her. So there you go. So Kelly Gruber, back to the 80s. A third baseman, if I remember correctly, was Kelly. And a pretty good one, too, actually.
Yep.
Exactly. There you go. So there's my first bit of stuff in the basement.
Very good. I have tons of Blue Jays memorabilia too, but I won't go there tonight because.
Well, I wasn't sure what we were doing. So
you do whatever you want. No, I'm just saying. I'm not going to go there because we'd be here till tomorrow morning. So
it's going to be a little bit of everything. Yeah. And you know what?
I have a seat. I have a seat from the Rogers Center right over there.
That's right.
Right over. There in the corner. See there it is, the blue one. There you go. There's my piece of memorabilia. All right, I'm going to go next so John can go last. The hell am I going to lead with? I'm going to lead with this so I can just get it off my desk. I have a drum head. So Canadian music that no one cares about other than me. The band Great Big Sea, some folks probably know about. They made a bit of a splash, sort of Newfoundland, East Coast Canadian folk with some very strong Irish roots. And the front man of that band was a guy named Alan Doyle, who has been touring solo since Great Big Sea broke up about 10 years ago. And this was his second album, So Let's Go. I've seen him in concert countless times. A friend of mine is his fiddle player. But I picked this up at one of the shows. It's a drum head. And cheers. And then Alan drew a little picture of himself, and then he signed it here. So we got an autographed drum head. There you go.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know what we should do? We should try, because I think we could probably get away with it if it was just some generic. You should find a YouTube clip of her playing, and then when we talk about her and how fantastic she is, we could play just like a little bit. We could share that screen, maybe.
We could.
Yeah.
We could.
She's unbelievable. You and I have discussed it before, and I've mentioned it before, but I had a chance to see her too, and just kicked ass. It was fantastic.
Really talented and super cool person too. She's awesome.
Awesome, which helps. Yeah, that's good.
And not hard on the eyes either.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, John, you're up.
Okay.
Next.
What the hell was that?
How was that?
You're next.
Boy. All right. I think our machines are possessed. All right. So I'm going to ease into it with some 45s. How about that? I'll actually show some vinyl. We'll do that. So
Billy Joel.
no, I don't have any Billy Joel.
No.
Shocked.
Anyway, I was just looking through. Some of this is kind of cool. So I'm going to probably split this in a couple sections here. But I found this one in there too. It's kind of a cool Star Wars 45. It's not. I don't remember. I got this probably about 5 years ago. It's just sitting there at Walmart, and I'm like, oh, okay.
That's cool.
It's on some blue vinyl. Look at that.
What is it? The main theme from the movie?
Yeah. Main title and the Cantina one. The Cantina.
Okay.
That's the one. You got to have
I'm
the
a big Star Wars nerd. I know what that means.
Oh, yeah. I have one of those Millennium Falcons, like the big ones.
I've got the Lego one sitting right over here, the $1,000 one.
Oh, you got the big one.
I got the big one, the Ultimate Collector Series one.
Yeah, I think my daughter got like the medium-sized one. She put that together. So, but yeah, this is kind of cool. These are 45s I've probably had since they came out. Like this one's After Midnight, Clapton. Mm-hmm. It has I Can't Stand It, which is a really good song on the B side. I like that song probably more than After Midnight, probably. I think this is like probably a reissue because those songs came out in the 70s. I think I picked these up in the 80s. And then some Promises on the RSO, Clapton. And what's on the other side? Watch Out for Lucy. Isn't there like a Slow Down Linda, Watch Out for Lucy? He had a couple ladies' names going on in his music.
There's a Lay Down Sally.
Lay Down Sally is the other one, yep. This is definitely one I had since the 80s.
Nice.
This came out, I was like, this is kind of a cool song. It's different, from what's being played on the radio. It just stuck out. And I knew Born in the USA, and, he's kind of on my radar. I had a neighbor who had the big live box set and stuff. But when this came out, I think this is the first Springsteen thing I ever bought. And on the backside is that Merry Christmas Baby song. So very cool. Yeah, that's a cool one. I'll show two more before I pass here. There's the original White Snake. Here I go again from 80, what? Was it 86 or 87? I keep
Something
getting
like that. Love that song.
Yeah, and I think this had like the different versions on there. Oh, look, it says available on cassette also. So if you're
Ooh.
what was the B-side? Because, they had like 3 different versions of that song, and they had the big keyboard intro one. They had the one that went straight into it. They had all kinds of stuff. But this this is messed up. Look at that. It's got a chip.
Oops.
But it's still playable. Look at that. It's on the edge. So we're all good.
Yeah.
Still plays.
All good.
So here I go again, and Children of the Night. So I still love that album. That freaking Whitesnake album, just from beginning to end for me, is like killer. So one more soundtrack. You got to have a little Kenny Loggins with your Stallone. A little arm wrestling action going on because he's not boxing, so let's arm wrestle now.
Yeah.
But Meet Me Halfway, cheesy ass 80s movie, Rescue My Son, I'm a truck driving arm wrestler. Who came up with that freaking idea? I don't know what's on the B side of this one. What's happening? It is Giorgio Moroder. It must be something. It must be from the movie or something. No idea. Semifinal. I don't know if that's a band.
And Giorgio Moroder, the artist, he's that keyboard guy.
Oh, okay.
A lot of synth stuff in the 80s. And yeah, I think Semifinal was
Some
probably
of the-
the synth playing over the montage that was likely, the 5-minute montage that would have been getting ready for the semifinal, maybe, or something.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to listen to this for inspiration. There's nothing like getting you up in the morning, but a good 80s soundtrack, right?
Yeah.
Get Rocky IV going, put that thing on, and you're ready for the day. So,
Yeah.
there we go. Okay.
Awesome.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tokyo. Brian, how you doing, man? Welcome.
Hey,
And Record Hound, how you doing, sir? Welcome, both of you. For just tuning in, we're talking about anything except 12-inch records tonight. It could be singles, EPs, 10 inches, music memorabilia, whatever the hell you want. Is kind of it's a potpourri of stuff tonight. So I figured we'd mix it up because I was looking at some of my stuff that I don't normally show. And I'm like, I got some 10-inch records I've never talked about before. So that was kind of the impetus for this evening's discussion. So what's Record Hound saying? Moroder was the disco king producer in the late 70s. There you go.
I have to say, go ahead.
Richard's giving me shit for spending $1,000 on a Lego Millennium Falcon, but not the Springsteen box. Well, when I bought the Lego Millennium Falcon, I was not a Springsteen fan. So I'm not going to sell the Lego Millennium Falcon, but I also can't afford $500 for a Springsteen box. So priorities. Also, my son can enjoy the Lego Millennium Falcon, but not enjoy the Springsteen box set. So, What were you going to say, Daryl?
No, I was going to say to John about that cheesy Kenny Loggins thing there. And that song kind of, I know it's a combination of things that don't go together, but it's almost like yacht rock power ballad. One of the weirdest. It's so weird.
Meet Me Halfway Across the Sky. Yeah. It should be a poetry reading. That's what it should be.
It should. All right, Daryl, show us something cool.
All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to segue by continuing what John did, and I'm going to show some 45s here. They're all picture sleeves. How many do I got here? Three of them are Canadian, and then some other ones that I have. So I don't have too many picture sleeves, but I thought that Honeymoon Suites, What Does It Take? It's a pretty good song. Speaking of cheesy power ballad stuff. There you go. Honeymoon Suite. And I don't know what's on the B side. Words in the Wind, whatever that is. Anyway, it's on the WEA label, and I paid apparently $2.99 for it at Value Village.
There you go.
So that's the first 45. I do like Honeymoon Suite though. They're a good Canadian band. And now an East Coast band. I do believe these guys are one of the only ones from PEI that I can even think of. It's a 3-song single by Haywire.
So, funny story. Interrupt you real quick. Well, no, finish your thing and then I'll tell my funny story.
Yeah, no, this is Dance. It's got Dance Desire on it, and then 2 songs I got no clue between Separate Dreams and Oh, Why Can't It Be Tonight? But they're a pretty cool band. I mean, they're, I don't know, late 80s, hair band
rock
or whatever it is.
So I have that album and I bought it for $5. I don't listen to Haywire. But here's my funny story. I'm friends with Sean Kilbride, the drummer. I know him well. But here's the thing. When I became friends with Sean from Haywire, I had no fucking idea that he was a drummer for Haywire. Because my buddy Blake is one of my best friends. He's a musician in Toronto. He's been Blake's drummer for 15 years. And I work with Blake, and we not work with him, but I help him put out his music and whatever. We help him get the last record press, whatever. And then I work the merch table when he does his shows and whatever. So I got to know Sean real well, and didn't know for like a year that he was a drummer from Haywire, because it's not the kind of music I listen to. And yeah, he's a cool guy. And I bought the record just recently I was flipping through a bin at like a record store, and it was $5. And I just thought, I'm going to buy that. And the next time I see Sean, I'm just going to get him to sign it just for the hell of it. But yeah, I was friends with him for about a year before I knew that that's what he did in his previous life.
That's awesome.
And the other thing that he did is, that musical Rock of Ages?
Yeah.
They made a movie of it and whatever. Well, the Canadian production that played at Mirvish Theatre for like 5 years in Toronto, he was the drummer in the house band for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a nice dude.
Who would have thought that the drummer from Haywire would be in a big production like that, eh?
Right? Exactly.
That's crazy.
Exactly. Oops, I pressed the wrong button there. There we go.
That's okay. I've got a few more to show here. Okay, so this is going to get to a point where I'm almost... Rob, you mentioned this last week. I didn't even intentionally do this. I figured, how could I show some Glass Tiger in today's episode?
Do it.
Well, I got a 45 of Thin Red Line, which actually is one of my favorite Glass Tiger tracks. And I have that album, obviously.
I pulled this just for you, man.
You've got is that Thin Red Line too?
This is Don't Forget Me When I'm Gone.
Right.
I pulled it also for Joe, because Joe's favorite singer's on here, Bryan Adams.
Yes. And then there's a song on the B side called Ecstasy. I got that. Not a hit of theirs. This one here I've shown before, but I just think it's a cool album. We Are the World. This is one I keep talking about. I had the 12-inch single for this, and John and I talked about this. It's one of those records, it just disappeared. I have no idea whatever happened to it. Of course, there's all the singers on the back. And hey, speaking of which, I paid $2.99 at Value Village for that one too. All right, the next one I have is El Paso by Marty Robbins. But the reason I'm showing this is the sleeve on it. I don't have any other ones of these, but it has all those like just numbers that you could purchase. The other singles that are on here, the SKU numbers and all that. So I thought that was kind of neat. And then there's some song by him on the backside, Running Gun. But it does have all the special labels. And then I showed this one in my difficult vinyl tag that I did for Brian. It's one of these cases where I bought something off of Discogs one time, and the seller, I'm assuming for very obvious reasons once I get to this, just wanted to get rid of this thing. I have a 45 by a death metal band from the Czech Republic. They call themselves Vomit Fall.
Jesus.
Vomit Fall.
And it came in just like this little cheap sleeve with a set of lyrics that are in like 5-point font.
That's when the lyrics are bad. That's why they make them so small.
I mean, the names of the songs on this are like, let's see here. No Vivisection, Bad Surprise, Just Fucking Words. I don't know. Just you can just basically guess what the stuff is about just by listening. And it's just like literally like throat screaming. I listened to it once. I'm only hanging on to it because it's hilarious that I even have this. It's just so weird.
Well, it's Puke Fall, man. Come on.
Yeah, Puke Fall.
Jesus.
That's what happens when you throw it from a high rise.
So, Richard's throwing some shit at you and me here, Daryl. He wants to know who's going to win the most mentions tonight, Glass Tiger or Blue Rodeo.
Uh-oh.
They left me out, so we're good. Okay.
Here we go, Richard. You're now starting a two-way battle here.
Yep.
Well,
Three-way.
I can promise you there's some Blue Rodeo coming up, and I don't even really need to mention it either. So, I'm not going to take any shit from you, Richard, so just behave yourself.
That's just mean.
We're passionate about what we like, so what are you going to do? All right, Joe.
All right. Well, while we're at it, I'll keep going with 45s, and I'll add to the fight because I also have the Glass Tiger 45. Now, Rob, this is the one that you had, right?
Yes.
Is yours the clear vinyl version?
No.
Yeah.
That's
So this is the
Yeah,
clear
mine's just-
vinyl version. Yeah. So it's got that. Plus, on top of that, it also came with a lovely poster.
Wow.
Yeah. So look, there's the boys. There's
There
Glass
they are.
Tiger back in the
There
day.
they are.
That's got to be what 20 friggin' years ago, I think, maybe.
Or more
So-
than that.
Yeah, exactly. But that's it. Someday, that's the poster is with Someday. But yeah, Don't Forget Me and the clear vinyl version of that. Up next, I've got another blue. It's Ice House. You can't really see, but it's Ice House Electric Blue. So that was just built-in marketing. Just come out with blue vinyl. There was that.
It's a good song, though.
It is a great song. Yeah, I like Icicle Works. That's a great song for sure. I agree. This one is by a label called Rebound. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. What it is, it's some dude must have had access to a printing press or a record press, pardon me, because I don't remember seeing these before, and there probably was more than one. But on one side, it's Blues image, Ride, Captain, Ride. You know that one, Ride, Captain, Ride, upon. Yeah. And then on the other side, it's a Badfinger song, Come and Get It. So it's like a bootleg 45. He just picked two popular songs at the time and put them out, based out of Vancouver. So there's that. Those don't matter as much. You had We Are the World. I've got Tears Are Not Enough. So the Canadians, right? Sure. And there's all the autographs and the Northern Lights for Africa Society, but it's got all the autographs. They're not real. And it was $2.48 at good old Woolco back in the day. Are you ready? Are you ready for it? Here we go. Bryan Adams, The Summer of '60. Wait for it. Here we go.
This has been 2 mentions for Bryan Adams already. Richard, you better be putting this in the scorecard.
It is. I got a couple more. I won't be too much longer. Stray Cats. This one's kind of cool. She's Sexy and 17, Looking Better Every Beer, Cruisin' and Lucky Charm. It's a gatefold 45. You don't see those a whole heck of a lot. I always enjoyed the Stray Cats, of course, the car theme, the rockabilly stuff going on. Good stuff. I don't think Setzer's doing too well these days, though. I think there is something wrong with them. I'm not positive exactly what the problem is, but looking better every beer. There you go. That was my motto back in the day. I was looking better after every beer she had. A couple from the Glorious Sons. There's the blue version. There's the orange version, just because I had them, a couple that they came out. But I will destroy in daylight a couple of different ones from the Glorious Sons. And the last two, speaking of Record Store Day, this was from a few years ago now. But it is David Bowie, his old self, and a couple of picture disc 45 singles. Some cool stuff. These were Joanne's, not were Joanne's, they are Joanne's. But it's Changes on one side, and it's 8-line poem on the other side. And then on this one, it is Rebel Rebel. Dave in his full-blown, not Ziggy Stardust, but he's got the patch and everything going on. And then on the back, I can't remember the flip side, doesn't really matter, but picture disc 45. So there you go, a couple of different ones you don't see too often. I don't know if there's a lot of gatefold 45s, probably, but
I got one coming up later.
Daryl, you are going to own this poster someday. When I find the full album you're looking for, there will be a package, and this poster will also be in it. So will the clear 45, probably. So there you go. Yeah,
Right on.
All right. I am not going to show 45s. I have some, but I'm going to save them till later just to mix things up because why not? I am instead going to show an interesting collection of 10-inch. I don't know if Alex is still watching. He wanted to see my big 10-inch, so here it is.
right.
This is a very interesting set of 4 10-inch records that I got. They're put out in 2017. Obviously, this is U2, and this is singles from the Joshua Tree album. This was a fan club only release. No, I am not a member of the fan club, but someone had these locally on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, so I bought them. If I can get it out of the little obi that's on here. Come on. Come on. Talk amongst yourselves while I get this here. I don't have it quite prepared. It's a tight fit. Okay, so there's 4 10-inch singles. You have With or Without You. I can keep the glare off of it here. And we have I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. And we have In God's Country. And my favorite, Where the Streets Have No Name. What is interesting about these is the A side is the original single. The B side is a live version from the 2017 Joshua Tree Anniversary Tour, which I love live recordings. So you have the original single, and then you have the 2017 live version, and they're all absolutely fantastic. So there you go. There's a U2 10-inch collection.
Never seen that before.
No,
No,
like I said,
that's cool.
it was only a fan club release, and they have a pretty extensive. I have a few other fan club issues, and you're going to see one more of them at some point. I might as well show this last U2 10-inch while I'm here. This came out on Record Store Day. This is Ordinary Love. It was a song. It was a tribute to Nelson Mandela. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is on white vinyl, but I'm too lazy to open it up. So there you go. There's some U2 10-inch. So
Ordinary Love, is that a U2 original or is that a cover?
that is a U2 original written by U2 and Brian Burton, whoever that is.
Okay.
So
Nice.
yeah, Richard, it was I knew about it because I'm always kind of looking for those fan club releases because they have some really great live stuff. Actually, I've got another U2 10-inch over there. Maybe I'll show it later. They've got a great vinyl, some vinyl exclusive that their fan club makes available. So if you can find any of that U2 fan club stuff, there's a lot of it on eBay and Discogs and that, so it's around. So. Canada's biggest record fair is this weekend. Yes, it is. I'm going to do Record Store Day instead. So Richard, I have a couple of U2 fan club finds. Which one, man? I've got that one. I've got the. I'll show the other one in a few minutes. I got two more that I'm going to show that are fan club issues, but I'm curious what you got. All right, John, what you got for us?
All right. Well, I'm going to show you the crap around my room.
Go for it.
Sure.
I'm just going to have some fun with this. So for Joe, this is for Joe. I have these little cars, and this one says Soul.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I can see Soul on that. Yeah, that's funky. I like that paint job. I'd take that paint job.
Yeah, this has Blues.
And the Blues.
Look at that. And then another Soul. I like this one because you got the afro on the top.
Oh yes, there you go. Yeah.
Heck yeah. And what is Joe? That one. And here's another Blues one. This is kind of cool. Almost like not quite the ZZ Top car, but kind of
Close though. Yeah.
Yeah. Got gold rims on it and everything.
Exactly.
And then they're all stuck in traffic behind this Beatles truck. I literally go down like the toy aisle now looking for this crap. Like anything with a guitar, music, whatever.
Yeah.
I think these are kind of cool. I just put them on the shelf in front of the albums and they just kind of sit there. But then you got to get into your pop figures. So who's this? Who's that? Yeah. Well, Frank Zappa. We don't talk about Frank Zappa enough. That guy's awesome.
Here comes the water.
Yeah. And then you got a little Prince from the Purple Rain era. Check them out. Yeah. Got that little mustache going there. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
And that guitar, that was a custom guitar, right? I think that was custom. I don't think anybody played a guitar like that. And then you got Elton John. Heck yeah. Now, Elton, you have like 5 different variations of Elton because he had all these different costumes and everything. Can't find one damn Billy Joel pop figure. They don't make
Mark
them.
that on the scorecard, Richard. He mentioned it again.
Yep, there's more coming. And then you gotta represent the jazz world with little Miles Davis chilling. Thought that was kind of cool.
Nice.
And then we flip over to country, and you got a little Willie.
That's
Little
good.
Well, not all of us have a little.
Yeah.
Some of us.
Let's have a big 10-inch. That's right.
Big 10-inch.
That's right.
And then for you Beatles fans, of course, you got the classic Lennon. Heck yeah. And then these are kind of cool. I got this Hendrix one. He's kind of chilling over here all the time. Thought that's kind of cool. Heck yeah. And then for you Simpson fans, I got, a little Lisa Simpson playing sax. So here I am down the toy store aisle going, okay, that has a saxophone. Got to put it on my, put it over there. It's an issue. And then let's see. Well, then you got to have the John Cusack, of course, holding up the boom, right?
Say anything. Yep.
Yep. And then my Tom Petty. So this guy, if I had him in the package, this sucker sells for like $300. It's crazy. Oof. I don't know why. I should have never taken him out of the package, but I don't want to get rid of it. It's kind of cool. Just Tom Petty Simpsons figure. It's kind of cool. So I think that's all my toys right there. So hope you guys enjoyed watching me play with my cars and my action figures. These are my action figures.
Those Funko guys, man, like they just and it just keeps going. Like it doesn't die out. They just keep coming up with either new iterations of old characters or they get new characters. It's just let's just keep. It's like The Simpsons. They just keep making it, and people keep watching it. People keep buying them.
And everywhere you go, there's so many of them, and yet I guess they have to be making money because everybody still has a million of them. So
for sure.
Crazy. So there you go. That is not a vinyl record.
Just to update the score for everybody. Bryan Adams 2, Billy Joel 2.
Okay. What about Glass Tiger and all that nonsense?
Glass Tiger 2, Blue Rodeo 1.
Okay.
So Rich is getting back to me. He's got the U2 Artificial Horizon. I've been looking for that medium rare and remastered for a while. I hope it's good. So one of these days I'd like to pick it up when I find it. So. Okay. Daryl, take it away, man.
All right. I have a favor to ask, Joe. Do you have a promo code that we could talk about?
I do. Actually, I think that if I sit here and think about it long enough, there might be something come up on the screen There it is.
There it
Then
is.
he's got to mess with the rest. There it is. It's a promo code. It's Northern 10. But what's it for though, Daryl?
Well, I know that it's for sleeves and stuff like that, but we haven't talked about this yet. Did you know that Northern Storage Solutions sells other products for your record players, such as cool looking slip mats?
They do, in fact.
So I do have a Vinyl Storage Solutions slip mat. I want to get the other cool one. They do have another one, and they are selling them currently for $39.99, and it's made out of really good quality cork material, and that's what I play my vinyl records on. So I thought that if somebody wanted to purchase one of these, they might want to get a good discount code on that, because that's what I use on my turntable.
So what you're saying is that if they go to vinylstoragesolutions.ca and they put in the code Northern 10, they can get 10% off their slip mats and their inner and their outer sleeves and basically anything. And if the shipping is free, if it's over $75, I think, is that what you were saying?
That is correct. That is exactly what I'm saying.
Good.
And then
Excellent.
I'm not promoting other locations, but I mean, I have one of those I have two now spinning things.
Mm.
I don't know exactly what company did this one, but if you use Etsy, you can always buy these cool now spinning ones, and they come apart quite easily and put together.
Hey, we're
Or if
only
you wanna-
promoting one company here. Screw this Etsy nonsense.
And then if you want to get really cheap quality work, you go with Temu. But this is a cool one. I like this one too. So, yeah, I have my now playing. Depends on what mood I'm in. I'll use that one or whatever. And to promote Rob's company here, go
It's
with
not
a
my
nice
company,
cool,
but
sorry,
I
nice
wish.
slip mat. I did see the owner who retired from that company on what is it, 33?
Channel
there?
33 RPM. Yep.
And he was
Yeah, he was
talking
on
about
Crank,
he was
yeah.
talking about all the inner sleeves and all that. So yeah, these are just some cool things. The slip mat, my now spinning things. I thought it would be cool to show them. So
Very
there we
good.
go.
So
Very good.
go to vinylstoragesolutions.ca and use promo code Northern 10.
That is
Okay,
correct.
good.
I think Vinyl Storage Solutions needs to pay us more for doing this because they don't pay us anything.
I think they do actually, but
I'm gonna have
That's
to
all
give Jeremy a call and go, "Hey, man, do you know how much free press you're getting? Tens of people see this every week."
that's right. I like to say tens of hundreds.
Well, I don't know if it's that much, but yeah, we'll go with that.
No, we
I
get
can assure everyone through all of these promotions, I have made exactly $3 in the last 60 days. So woo. All right. I guess that means it's Joe's turn then. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So I am going to go with a little Beatles memorabilia.
Okay.
Obviously, you can see some of the posters on the wall back there. But this one, I'm going to start with this first piece. And I've shown it before in my Beatles tag from last year. But this is some original artwork by my daughter, Emily. She did this for me. So she drew all of this. Of course, she, used parts and pieces from some of the albums. But she's got a bunch of lyrics. She's got, obviously The Boys Walking Across Abbey Road. She's got... And you can see she's got like a little yellow submarine that she did down there.
That is awesome down there.
Yeah,
cool.
it's so good. She just did such a fantastic job. There's a strawberry for Strawberry Fields Forever. It's just really, really fantastic. She did just a fantastic job. I love it. It's one of my most prized possessions. It's fantastic. This is just a clock, but it's fun because it's got the albums and it actually doesn't work worth a shit, but it sits there. It tells the right time twice a day anyway, but it's got all the albums on it, which is kind of neat. And then there's a set of books over there. I'm not going to show that set, but just to prove that I do actually read books, I have some, although I guess I can't really prove that I read them because they're just here. But this is an old Beatles book that I picked up somewhere. Lots of old pictures. And then you can see there's some of the Magical Mystery Tour, and it's Yellow Submarine in there. John having a dart. It's pretty good. It's just a bunch of old pictures. It's even got Yoko in it. But that's kind of cool. And then another very cool thing, and I haven't shown this before, but this is an original. It is a UK press, and it is the Beatles. It's a 45. This is not a colored vinyl, but it was mono. I saw her standing there, Misery, Anna, and Chains, the Beatles #1, and that is an original UK pressing 45 that on Parlophone that just is kind of cool to have. So there you go. There's other stuff. I've got some posters at the shop that I took down there as well. So there's a little bit of memorabilia from the Beatles around as well. So
Just do me a favor with that Beatles EP. Just before you die, just leave that in your will to me, okay?
I will. I will. That and what was last week? I can't remember
I don't remember.
something.
It
Yeah.
was something.
Oh, I know. One Bad Son, the One Bad Son album.
Yeah. Leave me both of those and we're good.
All right. You got it.
Okay.
You got it. There you go.
All right. I'm going to continue the U2 thing just because I pulled the other two fan club releases, which at least Richard might find interesting. This one is kind of cool. I'm going to open this one up. This was another fan club release. This is called Another Time, Another Place, live at the Marquee in London, 1980. So this is right when U2 were starting out. And it is there's inner sleeves in it, which I don't have the records in. You know, it's a gatefold little 10-inch vinyl storage solutions inner sleeves. But it's great. It's raw. It's U2 when they're young, when they're raw. It's pretty nice recordings, recorded in September 1980. So yeah, great fan club only double 10-inch release. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 songs in here. So basically a full album's worth of live material from 1980. It's really, really good, Richard. If you can find one, I would recommend it. This is my favorite U2 fan club release. This looks like an album. This is not an album. This is called U22, a 22-track live collection from the U2 360 tour. And what it is it is a book that just so happens to have 2 CDs in the front, and then it's just a book of stuff from that tour. Have I ever read the book? Nope. But I can tell you, owning a lot of U2 stuff, this is the best U2 live recording that I have ever heard, and it's so friggin' good. I was in one of my local record stores in Kitchener, Ontario, which I'm going to go to for Record Store Day on Saturday, and they had this on the wall, and this was I don't know, 10 years ago probably, and it was $40. And I knew exactly what it was. When I got up to the counter, the guy's like, "You know that's not vinyl, right?" I go, "I knew exactly what this is." He goes, "Okay." And yeah, this is of all the U2 stuff I have, this is probably my favorite. So it's a CD that looks like a record, and it's the best live U2 I've ever heard. So
Cool.
nice. There we go. Richard saying, I've been looking for that for years. Yeah, it's crazy expensive now. It's like a couple times I've seen it on eBay. It's been like a couple $100, which is insane. So Richard goes, I have that Marquee 10-inch as well. Yeah, it's so good. Okay, John.
All right. I'm like looking around now. What am I going to do next? So I'm going to show my DVDs that are music related.
You
So, Rob's favorite artist right here. The composer. Freaking great movie, man.
It was a great movie. It was.
It was amazing. Yeah. I
Very
really,
well done.
yeah. So picked that up recently and stay with the, the We Are the World deal. You got that and the story behind We Are the World with all those artists and everything, And this is a cool one. Neil Young, Heart of Gold. And it's a little bit of a documentary, but mostly a live performance. It was him raising funds for the autism charity that he does. And I think it had Emmylou Harris on there. His wife, Peggy, I believe was his first wife. She plays on here. I forget what she plays. But just a really cool DVD. I just grabbed it, and it was from albums that I wasn't really familiar with, but had a lot of cool tracks on there. So yeah, Neil Young. And let's see, some Springsteen and I. Not really 100%. I've watched this before, and I guess it's mostly a documentary put together by fans or something like that. I don't know too much about it. I got to go back and rewatch this, but kind of cool.
That'd be all right. Yeah.
Yep. And you got the Rocket Man movie, of course. Everybody has different opinions. I thought it was kind of cool. He decided not just to go with a straightforward story of his life. Let's put theatrical moments and strangeness in there. So I thought it was pretty good.
And the kid was great. I thought he did a fantastic job. So
yeah, absolutely. Speaking of, I got to check out that new album. I don't know what to think about it yet.
with Brandy,
Yeah, I really need to give it a listen and probably give it a couple listens to absorb it.
yeah,
I will. I always give Elton a chance.
yeah, for sure.
And of course, you got to have Pink Floyd, The Wall. Really good. And then along with that, you got to have Live in Pompeii. So, and there's been a lot of talk of Pompeii lately. I don't know if they're redoing something with it, reissuing. Seems like they might be doing something different with the Pompeii performance, but it's really cool. I like even the, I think they called it Mademoiselle Knobs or something on here where the dog, I think it's Seamus on one of the other albums where the dog's howling while somebody plays harmonica. So
Okay.
that was like a trippy part in this. If you've never seen the film, there's a part where they're just hanging out playing like blues harmonica and that dog's just howling his head off. It's really cool. So in Pompeii, let's see. And that was cool too in that DVD because you see them almost tearing apart like organs and stuff and just rewiring them to see what kind of sounds they can get. Like they're just like, you could tell like they're searching for something in that film. So, and then Tom Petty, this is really good. Running Down a Dream. Just covers a big span of his career. But I just recently saw that Tom Petty's Beach Party, and that was, man, that was good too. So I'd like to get a hold of that if that ever comes out on DVD. But it gives you a whole perspective of him going from Gainesville and the whole career and all that stuff. So a lot of good stuff on that one.
I think that's on Tubi. If you have the Tubi app, I think that Tom Petty one is. I was looking for something last night, which I didn't find, but I think I saw that one on there. So if you're out there and you want to watch it, I think it's free on Tubi if you have that.
And I think it's on I watched it on Paramount Plus, I think.
Probably.
So yeah, also. So, and then this is cool. I like these, behind the music, the classic albums, the making of Yellow Brick Road. I mean, this is fun. Like they were talking about like the backup harmonies and stuff they do. They literally made Elton leave the room because he would pick it apart. And they said, we know what we're doing as a band as far as backup vocals. We made Elton leave, so we could get it right, So it's really cool for an album that one of my favorite Elton albums, to give you that perspective of what was going on during that time while they were making it. It's really cool. So those classic albums are really good. I think it was on VH1 at one point, I believe. And then, of course, you got to have Billy Joel at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, Richard, add it to the scorecard.
Okay, is that 3? Because then here's 4, because then you got Billy Joel, the Essential Music Collection, all the videos. All right, hold on. Matter of Trust, the Russian concert, so you got to have that. All right. And then you got some Michael Jackson, number 1s. This is one that's kind of cool. My kids, it seems like kids get into Michael Jackson when they're younger. So I used to put this on and my kids would boogie around the living room with this playing all the time. And then Thriller would come on and they'd go running because it scared the crap out of them. So that was cool. And another one, Making of Rumors, the classic albums, all the interviews, everything going on there. That's just a great one to have. Oh yeah, this one's a Scorsese one with Dylan, No Direction Home. This is a fun little video to watch. Yeah, Martin Scorsese. And then my girl, Sheryl Crow, right there. This was a concert she did right after her third album, The Globe Sessions. So good stuff right there. And what else do I have? Oh, here we go. We'll end it on Phil Collins, another classic albums, Face Value, and The Last Waltz. I'd like to get a better version of this. It's kind of like a cheapy version, but it works. I can see the whole concert and everything. And I was just watching an interview recently. I guess Scorsese almost missed the Muddy Waters performance of Manish Boy. Like they didn't really have it rolling, or they weren't ready, and all of a sudden he's singing. He's like, "Get those cameras out there!" So,
Start.
We're going to talk about this in a few minutes.
Yep. So there you go. That's my music DVD collection.
Nice.
Oh, lots.
Yeah, a big old stack over here ready to fall over.
One of these days, we got to have Tim on here because apparently he got to meet Michael Jackson. Holy
Okay.
shit. Tim has met everybody.
Yeah, if we have Tim on, he just gets the whole 2 hours.
He gets
We'll
a whole
just-
2 hours and we just sit here
Okay,
and go, really?
yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go around again. Daryl.
All right. So I don't know who was asking. They were asking about shellac.
Yeah.
Well, that's my next.
Record Hound right here. Anyone got
Does
any
anyone
shellac?
have any shellac? Well, this is the oldest record I have in my collection. Probably the oldest out of all of our collections. I have a record. It's on a 78. It weighs a ton, so I'm assuming this is shellac. And it is, I've mentioned this guy before. He was an Irish tenor. This is a 78 John McCormick. 1927 is when this was made. It's the oldest one I have in my collection. I don't recommend putting this on your player.
No.
It sounds like shit, and it feels like my needle is acting like a little bit of Bob Dylan.
That's never a good thing.
No, that's right.
All right, so I have that one, and then I have this one here by Arthur Godfrey. It's the Too Fat Polka on Columbia. I think this one's from the 30s or the 40s. I can't remember. But once again, it's heavy. It's on 78. And one last one is if I can get this out of here, is the Horace Staccato by Benny Goodman and his orchestra. So
Yeah.
Let's not
so
try
yeah, I
that.
have they're the only 78s that I have because I know that they're just not good for your needles and all that kind of stuff unless you got one of those special Victrola things. But once again, there's that one in Timmins, Ontario. There's this antique store that I go to, and every now and again he's got some decent records there, and I saw those there, and he was charging like 50 cents or whatever for them, so I grabbed them. I played them once on my record player, and I was like, this is like the whole cheese grater thing. I'm not doing that ever again. But anyway, something nostalgic to have. Always nice to say, hey, I've got a record that was older than my grandfather and my grandmother in my collection. So there we go.
Yeah, cool.
You mentioned that that's the oldest record in your collection. You know what the oldest record in my collection is, Daryl?
No.
Richie Valens. Just pour a little salt in the wound there.
Little salt in the old wound.
Little
Had a boy.
salt.
Very nice.
Okay, Joe.
All right. Okay. I looked because I do have one, but I'm not positive where it is. I do have an Edison cylinder, which I think was the very first. It's somewhere. I don't know. It's behind this wall, but I have nothing to play it on. But I have an Edison cylinder, so there's that. And then while we're at it, Daryl already started, but let's keep going with the shellacs and the 78s. So they used to have box sets of these darn things out there. This happens to be the Nutcracker Suite, the Philadelphia Orchestra, and this is Victor Records. But yeah, they used to come in these plain brown folders, and there's 2-3 albums in this set. So, and there's a bunch of these that someone brought into the shop. So that's the one that I brought. So I have an Edison cylinder, but I don't have one to show. Salt 1, Daryl, no score. It's back there. I'm not going to find it. So we've got a 78. Then after a 78, we went back to, where did I put it? There it is. This isn't an old one, but then there was 45s. Now there was 33s and 45s. I think 45s came before 33s. Did they not? I stand to be corrected, and I'm sure somebody will. But we'll go Edison cylinder, I believe, then 78s, then 45s, then 33s, which we're not showing this evening. Then after that came the infamous 8-track tape. And I've shown these two beauties before. Beatles 1 and 2 with all of the clicks and pops in between tracks that you could want, but they are the red and the blue. I don't know if they're all of the songs, though. It looks like they are. Yeah, because they were shorter songs. So anyway, then there was 8 tracks. And then after 8 tracks, I'm going to be the first one to show a cassette.
Man.
Boo!
More to come.
Get out of here.
Steve Earle cassette, though. It's not just a cassette. It's a Steve Earle cassette. Does that help? All right, fine. Anyway, for those that don't know, that's what they look like on the inside. They had liner notes. They had some stuff going on. Steve had it going on back in the day on Copperhead Road. You got all the lyrics, which I know I've got the light going, but you got all the lyrics and you got some pictures. You got a lot of the things you got in the album. I'm not saying they were good. They worked in your car a lot better than the albums did. Although there were a couple of, as far as I remember, I think Cadillac had a 45 playing deck for their car. Anyway, after cassettes, and again, we know there was 33s in there somewhere. Then, of course, came the CD, and this is my little Miles Davis from Cool to Bop, the anthology set. The CDs are inside there, which we've all seen before. And then, then we go back to albums. What else did I have? I had one other 10-inch as well. I guess I didn't show a 10-inch, but I do have that. That was in there somewhere. And this is Jazz Tone Society, a jazz sampler. Kind of cool. And then not that we haven't seen already, but just a couple of Queen live at Wembley and Queen live in Montreal, which is probably the concert if I could go pick one, it might be that one. We've talked about that before. For me, anyway, that would probably be one of the ones, and or that whole Wembley experience, but especially that. So there you go, a little bit of the history of recorded music without an Edison and without a gramophone. I'm not sure what played on the gramophones. Was it 78s?
I think it was 78s because they had those really thick needles that would stick down, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Super thick needles. So that might have been this stuff. But anyway, there you go. A little bit of history on recorded music.
Okay. Well done,
Cool.
Professor.
Thank you.
Okay. Richard, get your pencil out because a certain band's going to pull a Head of Glass Tiger on this one. So, you're ready. You can see him 3 times this round.
Bob Dylan.
Not a chance. Okay, we'll start with this one. Yes, these are 12-inch, but these are not albums. And you notice the ticker says anything but, well, I should say anything but 12-inch albums. I set the rules. I can do what I want. So this is not an album. But this is a 12-inch, but it's not an album. So I get away with it also because my show. So this is a 2 LP, not LP, 2 record. We're going to go 2 record set, promotional only. This was to promote Blue Rodeo's first album, Outskirts. And what's interesting about this is on one disc, and the reason I bought it is it's the CFNY live broadcast. So CFNY was a radio station in Toronto, and this is a show that they did in their very first year as a band, when their first album came out, when they all still had 9-to-5 jobs. It was recorded at the Diamond Club, and it's a lot of stuff from their first album. Great. That's why I bought it. It's awesome. The other side is kind of interesting. It's called the Outskirts Special, and it was a radio broadcast, start to finish. It's kind of it's a pre-recorded interview essentially, but it with all the bells and whistles and sound effects, and it's an entertaining listen. Them talking about their roots and their first album. So it is not an album in the traditional sense. It is a live radio broadcast plus a radio promotional special that was put out by Warner Music. So this isn't something you could buy back in the day. This was just given to radio stations, and you can get it from time to time on eBay. So as a super fan, this is probably my favorite promo release for this band. In that same vein, I think this one is even more interesting. This is called the Outskirts Interview Disc. This came out about 6 months before that one did. And this is simply just a plain Warner Music Canada promotional label. And inside, I have the script that accompanied this. And so what you did with this, if you were a DJ in the radio station, you would put on the record and you would read question number 1 as the DJ. And then you'd drop the needle and track 1 would answer the question that you just read. Then you'd read question 2 and drop the needle, and the record would answer the question that you just read. So pre-scripted questions, the answers are by the band members are on this. So a very cool kind of promotional thing to tie in with their debut album. I love that as well. And for my third mention of this band, Richard, in case you're just keeping track, this is a 45 by a band called the Hi-Fives. And you're going to go, I've never heard of the Hi-Fives. And you'd be correct. But if you notice who the singer-songwriters are here, gentleman by the name of Greg Keeler, another guy by the name of Jim Cuddy. This was their band in New York City before they moved back to Toronto to become Blue Rodeo. And this is a reproduction. This is not the original because the original is very expensive here, especially in Ontario because they're a Toronto band. But this has all of the replica stuff that was in there. The postal mailing card that advertised a show that they were doing at the Horseshoe. The little bio about the band. This is all reproduction stuff. And then the disc is a reproduction, except that it's on colored vinyl. It was never on colored vinyl originally. This reproduction came out, I want to say 15 years ago, and it's almost as expensive as the original from 1984, whenever this came out. So this is the roots of Blue Rodeo. This is not the country rock that they are. This is like kind of new wave post-punk stuff, and it's fucking terrible. But as a super fan of the band, I gotta have it.
Gotta have it.
Oh boy, Tim knows his stuff. What about Fly to France? That was their name before they were the Hi-Fives, and they never released anything commercially as Fly to France. So, a couple comments here. Let me get caught up. What the F is that pressing of Outskirts? Interview disc. You can find it on eBay from time to time, as I said. Those open-ended interview records were semi-common for radio. Yeah, absolutely. They were, for sure. Look at this. I'm in the lead, Daryl. You got to mention your band a couple more times.
I think you're going to continue to be in the lead because I don't have anything else.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but Billy Joel's still in this fight, is he not?
Oh, he's way ahead. He's way ahead.
Richard,
Well-
could you at least give Rob a half point for the T-shirt that he's subtly wearing?
Yeah.
But shouldn't there be 2 more Glass Tigers? Because Joe and I both showed a Glass Tiger 45 in response. So
That's
I
true.
think it should be 4-4.
And a Glass Tiger poster too. There was the
It
poster.
should be
too.
4-4. So yeah, exactly.
We're going to see who wins for the biggest poster because I got a big one sitting right over there.
Okay. John, take it away, sir.
All right. Well, back into your favorite category, because when I was a kid in the 80s, we had these all the time. This is a
Nice.
replica, but it's kind of
Yes,
cool.
sir.
This is a Best Buy edition, but my radios look kind of like this. I can never afford the big ones, expensive ones, but I always had this sucker like have the handle up on the end of your bike, and you're just going down the road, just blasting your music. So at one point, I would ride probably about 2 miles down the road, and we had some horses and kept them out there. And we'd just sit there and play cassettes and hang out while the horses were eating or whatever after we rode or whatever. And we'd spend hours out there just listening to music. And people always knew I'd have my radio, so they'd bring their cassettes and we'd play them. And I don't remember any getting eaten up. Only one that got eaten up. I went down and bought it. It was, of course, here we go. Click it. Billy Joel's Greatest Hits 1 and 2, Volume 1 and 2. I got all the way home, and right when I pulled up to my house on my bike, all of a sudden, blah, 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 and I pulled it, and the tape was just.
Here, hold on. Let me show something quick here. And this is how I used to fix it. You took a pen and you spun it, right? You just put a pen in there and you spun it, and then because if the tape came out, and I'm not going to screw with my tape because I do like this tape, but then you just got a pen and you spun it and away you go. That's how you used to fix your cassette tapes back in the day. Sorry to interrupt, John.
Yeah, no, that's a good helpful hint. Him, but yeah. So, I had everything, the whole Billy Joel collection, and there's certain artists that I had, but yeah. So recently, I just finished up. I think I got them all now. So of course, I got all the Billy Joel cassettes.
Awesome.
Plus, there's another stack over there. I had a couple because once Stormfront and River Dreams came in, I was buying CDs, so I never had those on cassette. So it was kind of cool to go back and grab those. Then I found a little single too of All About Soul, and it had "You Picked a Real Bad Time," which is a song. Oh, Goodwill. There you go. I found it at Goodwill. $1.99 for 2 songs, $1 a song. You Picked a Real Bad Time, which is an okay song. It was left off the album. He doesn't have very many rare songs. He pretty much wrote for his albums and he was done. There's not a lot of leftovers. It was kind of cool to go back through, but then I've had struggles with vinyl lately. I got that new Tracy Chapman and Snap Crackle Pop, and I'm like, it's like, why am I not just buying CDs? Sometimes I love the warmth of an album. I love the sound of an album, but I'm kind of tired of that, especially on new stuff. Old stuff, not so bad. I mean, like, I don't mind blues albums sometimes that have pops and things like that, but it's kind of getting to me. So I picked up some cassettes, and same thing. You're getting that warbly sound. Yeah, Billy Joel to Infinity, exactly. But I picked up some stuff that, I never had on there. Like there was the Fleetwood Mac Tango in the Night. So it's kind of cool. I bought that on CD. I remember being in a record store and hearing that album for the first time. And that was back in the day. Record stores played albums and you could go in there and you're like, what's this? And they said, here you go. That's what stores should be doing. There's a couple local stores. I'm like, why are you guys not playing freaking records? You're streaming everything. And then somebody wants to buy it and they're like, oh, we can order it for you. No, people want it there. Like then. That's how I got that Mick Fleetwood one a couple weeks ago. Those African sessions or whatever. They were playing it, sounded freaking great. And they're like, here, take it. I'm like, yeah, that's what you should be doing. That's what people want.
I always impress on the guys when I'm not there, and even when I am there, play the records, man. Like it's just easy, and for them, it's just background, kind of, because they're, it's an overall store, right? Like there's so much more to the store than the records, but for them, it's easy just to throw the stream on. But it's like you got to put the records on. So
yeah, it's important. There's a shop here in Clearwater, and they sell only used. They don't get anything new in. And they're always playing. I think that's how they listen to them and grade them. They literally listen to them.
Come on, yeah.
And you're in the store. You hear it popping. You hear it. Sometimes they're clean as hell. Sometimes it skips, or it repeats or whatever. But it's kind of cool because, that's the thing where I'll never get up albums because there is that. I don't know. There's just something about it. Even though it's a pain in the ass sometimes, it's still kind of a cool format that you stick with as a collector, Yeah. So, but getting back into the CD or the tapes, you're kind of like, I'm not going to go too far into this because there's a lot of warbly, and then the players that I come across, they have their issues, and it's like, I don't want more of a headache than I already have with the albums. So, I'll keep what I have, just some stuff I had when I was a kid, just for memories reasons. That's about it. But yeah, so I went from 0 cassettes, and I had this whole freaking thing that I bought for like $10. But it has like Phil Collins, but when I was a kid, I'd just sit there in the back of the car too. We go on long trips and I'd be back there with my cassette holder and I'd open it up and I'd be reading the lyrics, and it was a thing, You know, it's kind of a life was on the go, so I needed something more portable at that point. So
I get the nostalgia. I had cassettes back in the day. I'm a kid of the 80s and early 90s. I get it.
yeah,
I don't get it now. There's no point to own a cassette.
yeah,
Don't they sound like shit? They're
Yeah.
fucking garbage. I just don't get it.
yeah.
Maybe you own it for the nostalgia, I guess, but
hmm
who plays cassette? I don't.
Well,
Maybe
that's
I'm out of touch. What the hell?
and no, you're right, because that's where I have to like rein myself in. It's like, okay, we're not going down another freaking rabbit hole. You know,
Right.
how many albums do I need on all three formats? You know?
Right.
It's like, okay, pull it in, get the stuff that you had, and be done with it. Like I display the Billy Joel cassettes over there because it's, you know, that's my thing. But I don't need everything. And you start getting them because you can get them cheap, and it's like, okay, hold on, I gotta
Right.
stop. This one I gotta bring myself back a little bit. So yeah, but yeah, for
It was
the
it
memories.
was all part of the fun though. I mean, I used to like listening to the local radio and getting ready to hit that
Oh,
pause
of
button and
course.
record button, and
Oh,
it
absolutely.
was always fun. That and that VHS tapes.
I
was
get
always
the
fun.
nostalgia. I absolutely get the nostalgia.
Yep.
But I don't get why you would do it today. You want to listen to a song, you stream it or download it or whatever. You want to make a playlist, cool. You don't need to make a mixtape anymore. You want to listen to the song. There's other ways to listen to the song. It doesn't sound like shit. You want it to be portable, play it on your phone.
Well, and it's like anything else because I have a couple. There's one I played the other day and it sounded really good. Shoot, I can't remember which one I was playing. But it came through nice and clear. But it has the it can go that way though. You don't know what you're gonna get, and every once in a while you get that room kind of thing. You're like, oh, okay, that's not good.
Right.
But I mean, they can sound good, but for the most part, yeah, you're taking a gamble with that sound. Yeah.
I should. This just reminds me of a quick little anecdote. It's not related to cassettes, but it's funny that in 2025 we're still talking about cassettes. But I was watching a show with my son the other day. There was a show that was on in the 90s with Jerry O'Connell. It was called Sliders. It was like a sci-fi show where he travels to like alternate worlds or whatever. And I just downloaded it, and I remember I loved it in the 90s. I was watching the very first episode with my son, who's 9, and there was an episode where he thinks he's come back to the Earth that he was from, but it's actually like an opposite world where, you know, like red lights mean go and green light means stop and all this. And he's driving in his car, and bearing in mind this is early 90s, and in this alternate world, the radio announcer's like, and the very last CD rolled off the assembly line today, vinyl is here to stay. And I kind of laughed because it, you know, in 1990 when this show, or 91 or 2 or 3, vinyl was dead, CDs were the way to go. And here I am watching the show in 2025, and vinyl is, you know, the medium that sells now. And I just thought that was kind of funny. No mention of the cassette, obviously, but that just made me think of it, how funny of an anecdote that was. It would turn out to be absolutely true. Let's see here. I love Brian's sunny optimism always. They're cool tapes and Magnus, beautiful engineering. That's a fair point. Sure, I get it. Cassette decks with Dolby HX Pro sound far better than what Rob remembers. I get what you're saying. I'm not an audiophile, so I guess I'm an anti-tape guy. I like tapes like I like Bob Dylan. I never want to hear either of them. So
Bob Dylan on cassette. Now I know what to get you for Christmas, Rob.
Hell, what I do with it? Prop a door open, maybe? Well, it's not even heavy enough for that. So what the hell do I know? All right, let's go again. I got tons more stuff to show. So you're up there.
All right. So if you haven't watched my video that I did, I don't know, was it last week or the week before? You all know that I collect board games and stuff like that. So I might as well show some that I have. Now, I did show this one in my video, but I thought that it would be cool to show the components and everything again. So there was a board game by Eric Alvarado, and it's literally called Vinyl. And basically what you're trying to do is you're going crate digging, and you're trying to be the one with the most valuable record collection. And so I'm not going to open the box, but what I will show you is that this particular version I backed on a thing called Kickstarter, and it came with the record crate.
Wow.
Came
Cool.
with the record crate. The first player token is the one of these things. So that's kind of cool. They went completely for the theme on this. And then there's some expansions that go with it, such as this totally awesome 80s expansion. And here, I'll just open it up and I'll remove the plastic just to kind of show you how some of these cards work. If I can ever, I hate these. You know, when they got the plastic on it, it's got that little flipping strip you got to take apart there.
Grip it and rip it.
Rip it and rip it. If I could get the grip part, I will. There we go. There we go. Anyway, so basically the cards inside are like an album cover. And then
cool.
on the back side, it's kind of got like requirements that you got to do for winning the game or whatever it is. But, you know, just to kind of show you and, you know, just some different Psychic Tsunami. I mean, they make plays off of some different bands. And so this one's cool. Bear, Cheese, and Orbit, right? So just anyway, I think it's pretty cool that they made a game based solely on vinyl records and crate digging and stuff like that. It's pretty awesome.
Tim wants to know where you got that from, Daryl.
They have it on
I
Amazon.
backed it on a site called Kickstarter, but I believe that you can find versions of it maybe on a site called BoardGameGeek.com. They usually have a marketplace, and you might be able to buy that there. I have all kinds of expansions. I have like this British Invasion expansion. I have a Masters of Metal expansion, which is funny because they play off of like Judas Priest and stuff like that in it.
Is there a Czech death metal expansion pack with Vomit Fall in it?
Yeah. Everybody has to have that.
Icelandic.
It's such a gross 45. I don't even know. I think
Or
the guy was just trying to get rid of it.
Or Icelandic throat singing. There should be an expansion pack for that.
Yeah. And then this one here is still wrapped in shrink. I haven't opened this one, but I showed a game called On Tour in the video, which is basically you're a rock band and you're trying to go, depends on the map that it is. You go across the United States trying to hit up cities, and you're just rolling dice and writing on the board. This one here is the Paris and New York City expansion. So it's just really with, you know, you can see the trumpet there on the other side, and just it's pretty cool how they did it. And then one last thing that I wanted to show, it's not a game, but my daughter got this me for Christmas a little while back. And the reason I wanted to show it is it's a puzzle. I'm not into puzzles. I'm going to leave it in there. You'll notice that it's up here on my shelf usually.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the things that are on this puzzle, like MC Hammer is on this puzzle. 16 Candles, the picture from the movies on there. Back to the Future, the DeLorean's on there. So I don't know if you can. Oh, there's Boy George. Right.
Springsteen.
Springsteen, born in the USA.
MC Hammer is there. So yeah, no, there's some cool stuff. Stallone is on there from Rocky. Hey, even
there's Rambo.
I don't want to do this to you guys, but even Donald Trump is on there.
Oh God! Don't.
That's it. You just ruined the night. I'm out.
Yeah.
All right, but there we go. Yeah, so some
Exactly.
some board games and a pretty cool 1980s puzzle.
Very good. Okay, Joe, top that.
All right. Up next, some memorabilia from shows. I've showed this kind of before, and much like Daryl, the videos, it's usually up behind me, and it is a picture of me and the boys from Def Leppard. Got a chance to meet them. Now I have glow of Def Leppard coming through on the monitor in front of me, but I'm the ugly one in the middle, and then it's the rest of the boys from Def Leppard. Ticket from the show and stuff. Great show. That's a few years ago now. And then with that, you also got the autograph picture that was at a meet and greet. It was nowhere near the meet and greet that your Tom Cochran was. It was, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Rick,
sure.
A little bit, oh, are you having a good time this evening, et cetera, et cetera. But everybody else was, hey, how are you doing? Picture, get the hell out. So, but that's okay. Guitar pick from the same deal, which was kind of cool. And then I've got a few more guitar picks that I want to show you. First off is just a lovely group of Kiss pictures from Rock and Roll Over, if I hold it the right way. Not that you can't tell that it's any different if I hold it upside down. But anyway, there's those guitar picks. There is one from one Mr. Todd Kearns. That's one of his, of Took fame, as well as Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators, plus numerous other things that Todd is doing these days. This is one that Slash played. You can see Slash and company on that and the back of that. And then, Rob, I've got one more piece for you of My Will.
Okay.
That is a guitar pick played by one Mr. Joe Walsh of the Eagles.
Yeah. Add that to the will list for sure.
Row center, and I got one. So
Awesome.
yeah, so that's pretty cool. So there's my little guitar pick collection, and so that'll go in the bundle for you when I pass away. So which I hope is a while. I want you to have these things, but I hope it's a while before you get them. There's your pick collection.
I have a whole bunch of picks here that were played by me if anyone's interested.
Oh, are they autographed?
Well, they could be.
Can they be autographed? Excellent.
They
Good.
could be for a low price of $29.95.
There you go. But yeah, that's my little pick collection, as well as my meet and greet with Def Leppard. So
Cool. Love it.
yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do it. We're going to lose some viewers here. We're going to talk to Taylor right now. And if you don't like it, come back in 2 minutes. I'm only going to show 2. So, bear with me. Okay. The first thing I'm going to show is a picture disc, because I don't have a ton of picture discs, but I have this one. And this was the single for the song Me, which was on the album Lover. This was put out as a very limited release. It was available for like 2 hours on her website, and I just happened to catch it at the right time. This is when she performed it live on the Billboard Music Awards in 2019 or whenever the hell it was. So this is a live recording, the live rehearsal recording of that song on the one side, and I don't know what's on the other side. The other side is her and the Panic at the Disco fella. I don't know what the hell his name is. I don't really care. So a Taylor picture disc for me. This is not for me, the song Me. Pretty expensive, to be quite honest, but Taylor Swift fans are a little cuckoo when it comes to stuff.
Not as expensive.
What's that?
Not as expensive, I don't believe, as that one you're going to show.
Correct. So this is Lover live from Paris. It is heart-shaped vinyl. So I guess technically it's 10-inch, but the actual playing surface obviously is a lot smaller because of the shape. It's 2 LPs, and it's actually really, really good. It's from her Lover tour, which never really happened because the pandemic hit just before she was about to tour. So there aren't a lot of shows, but this was a special she did in Paris, France. This is not the original. This is the reissue, because the original is about $400 to $500. This is the reissue that came out about 6 months ago, maybe less, and it's still, like $150, which is absolutely stupid, insane. Didn't pay quite that much, but yeah, it's got 2 songs per side, 8 songs in total. I know people don't give a shit about Taylor, but it's kind of cool in terms of weird records. It's heart-shaped colored vinyl. So there you go.
Oh, it's cool. I got a weird one.
No more Taylor tonight, I promise.
You worry too much about that. I mean, I don't think any of us watching have a problem with it. I don't know if it's just I don't know if is it because you think there's a stigma for being a Taylor fan, or
Probably is. Yeah, probably. I mean, there's a segment of, and you know me, I don't get into the vinyl community politics, and I don't give a flying fuck about the snobs. Be whatever you want to be. I always say, like what you like. No one's ever going to judge it unless you're listening to it on a cassette. You should be publicly stones thrown at you or something.
Tar and feathered.
Yeah, exactly. Listen to what you want. Who cares, right? It's all about what you enjoy. Who the hell is somebody to judge, right? So there you go.
And in the comments, I meant to say it when it was my turn. There are some things that I was missing for sure. There was a 16 RPM stuff. There were reel-to-reels that you could buy as well, not just record, but you could actually buy reel-to-reels. Guys, look for that as well. So, yeah, it wasn't meant to be a comprehensive history of recorded music. It was as much as I could come up with. So
The record hunt says those are the coolest die cut I've seen in ages. Yeah, you don't see a lot of die cut records, which was also part of the appeal to me. The only thing I hate about it, they're just too, plastic sleeves with a sticker on the front and a sticker on the back. Thankfully, they're not the PVC ones that contaminate your records, which is good. But there's people on Etsy and that actually make proper album jackets to put these in, and I'm gonna do that because I don't feel there's enough protection in these, so I'd like to actually put it into a proper sleeve. That's my only complaint. The packaging on this kind of sucks, but how else do you show a cool looking record like that? So
Yeah.
now, vinylstorage.ca has a lot of
do they?
specific.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe they do. You have to look. You should go look.
I should.
Yeah.
Not a good point, not the cassette part. I mean, I'm joking, obviously. If people want to do cassettes, knock yourself out. I told John before the show that I was going to give him shit if he showed cassettes. So, right, saying I'm unnecessarily ashamed of my giant fish fandom. You should be ashamed of no fandom. I
That's
am
right.
loud and proudly a Swiftie, and I also own Spice Girl records, and I don't have a problem saying that. So, like what you like, man. Who cares?
100%. 100%.
And especially if you have a giant fandom, that's even better. I love folks that are just like Joe is all in with Kiss. I'm all in with Blue Rodeo. If there's a band that just connects with you that much, embrace it, man.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, John.
All right. Before I show 45s again, I'll just show random crap that I have around the room. But if Sam St. John is here, what are you eating, dude? What are we eating here?
What is that?
Yeah, what are we?
Egg drop soup? What is that?
Yeah, I love the fact that Sam just takes random pictures and posts them. These are awesome. But
Yeah. It's just got the date, right? It's good.
yeah, don't know what we got going on there, but actually it looks pretty good. Okay, so yeah, I got to show everybody the world's smallest record player. I picked it up at a yard sale.
That's great.
About
That's cool.
I don't know, like a couple weeks ago, I just see this sitting there. I'm like, how much? And they're like, you can have it. I'm like, that's a deal.
Even better. Yeah.
I don't even know what it says there. What does it freaking say? It's probably for like a dollhouse or something, I'm assuming, but it turns and the record comes off and everything, but no sound. It's all the motors have been taken out, so you can't use it. But it's just kind of cool looking. I saw that and I said, that's for me. I have to have that. Oh, and talking about like weird albums, you made me think of this one, Rob. Like I picked this. Oops. Yeah, it's weird in plastic, but it's
Wow.
Omar and the Howlers. And yeah,
Oh,
the
that's
album
cool.
plays within here. I guess it's a 45. It glows in the dark. So
Cool.
I wonder if I could turn the light off and see if it works. Little experiment. I got this other monitor on. Never mind.
Omer and the Howlers, that's a band I haven't heard of for a while. They're good.
Yeah, I played it. I'm like, I think it was what I remember, bluesy, kind of rockabilly.
Yeah,
or
fabulous Thunderbird this kind of
Yeah.
stuff, whatever, right?
Yeah. So they had this at the record store and they're like, just take it home. Nobody wants the freaking thing. I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. I like it. The skull or whatever the hell that is. So thought that was cool. And these are cool. I thought they had a pretty interesting contrast between posters for the upcoming record store day. So this is the Grateful Dead one. I thought this was pretty cool looking. I don't know if I'll put
Yeah,
it up.
that's nice.
Yeah, it's the coolest one I've seen in a while. They've been like okay recently, but I thought that was pretty cool as far as
There's still a little bit of that artwork out there. There's certain bands like Metallica does a different one for every stop that they make, or it sure seems like they do. And that's kind of cool. Pearl Jam, I think, is another band that has always continued to keep up with the gig posters, which are fantastic. They're pricey most of the time because they make them limited quantities, but they're great.
yeah. I mean, I love those old 60s, 70s psychedelic looking posters. Those, I mean, that's art and root music just go hand in hand. I mean, and then you got the other side of it where you have Linus and Snoopy, like Dylan. But I think there's an Easter album that's coming out for Record Store Day. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
your trippy ass stuff here, you can just have kid friendly, whatever you want to do for Record Store Day. So I thought that was
Nothing ever wrong with Snoopy, though. You can't really go wrong with Snoopy. I don't think, anyway. My opinion.
there's no Snoopy shaming here. It just won't
No.
happen.
Good.
And then, this random stuff, you got to have your, nobody has these. It's Blue Note 85 balloons. You got to have these bad boys.
Oh, Jesus.
A blue and a white. And then I have the pin around here somewhere. So, I could probably wear it for Record Store Day as an official Blue Note representative.
That's right.
So,
I have the Taylor Swift Record Store Day ambassador pin.
yeah. See, that's cool.
Wonder
stuff.
how I got that.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea if it came from Florida or where it came from.
Might have.
Yeah. So, and then, I'm in Vegas one year and I hear you can get these rock stars on poker chips. That's cool. So, of course, boom, they had me all hooked up. This is like, my God, this is like 90s some point. But yeah, I got a freaking Billy Joel poker chip. So suck it. That's it. Boom. I wonder if it's still worth the money. I don't even know how much this was. I'll probably spend $100 on this stupid thing.
Holy shit, man.
I don't remember. I'm guessing. Yeah, it's probably on there. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of cool. Just let it hang around the music room. It's kind of But they had other artists.
That's
too.
an expensive hanger.
Yeah, exactly. But I think they had like Hendrix and all that. But the Hendrix were sold out. I wanted to get one of those. But yeah, if it's got music on it, then it's going to end up in this freaking room somewhere. Like the Fender Lego back there and all that crap. All that. So there you go. That's my odds and ends of my craziness.
Very nice. Very
Love
nice.
it. Love it. We get caught up on a few comments here. Richard says he thinks he has a Gary Newman car-shaped 7-inch picture disc. That's cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Brian's still on my that's cool. So Brian, if you guys remember, did his Japan vinyl tag months ago, and what he's doing, which I think is awesome. Whatever anyone's answers are, he actually goes and listens to it. So he's going through my answers and listening to the records that I suggested. That's cool, man. I think there's some interesting stuff a little later down my list that maybe you'll dig or maybe you won't. But I think that's just an awesome way of expanding one's musical horizons. I think that's so cool, man.
Yep.
All right, Daryl. I still got a shit ton of stuff to show, so we might go a little bit over tonight, but that's okay.
Yeah, I've got definitely a few more rounds for sure.
Okay.
All right, so why don't we talk? I know, it's boring for some people, but why don't we talk about books? There we go. We'll go with some books.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start off with Static Traveler has just done that 1001 records that you should listen to before you die, but he puts a bit of a different spin on it. I'm actually gonna try it at some point, but I actually have both the 1001 songs you must listen to before you die and 10,001 you must download if you've got enough space on your computer, I suppose.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. I mean, it gives you the whole like rigmarole as the artist, and I don't know, I'm getting a glare on there, but it's such a heavy book. But I have that one, and then I have the 1001 albums you must listen to before you die. So I will never read all of this. It's just way too much.
That'll
reading.
take you until you die.
Yeah, it'll take me until I die. But I think they're cool books. But the one that I have read from start to finish, because I actually am subscribed to Billboard.com. I do have a subscription to it. But this is the 4th edition, and this is pretty cool. I've made like quizzes and stuff for kids based on, the top 10s, the best songs that are in here. This edition actually has at the back of it. I gotta find it. There it is. The top 100 digital downloads, which is ironic because when Billboard always praised itself on not downloading stuff, but now it's kind of moved forward into that. So that's kind of cool. This one, Joe, this one's for you, for your game show. Before my dad passed away, I got this for Christmas from my dad. It's the Rock and Pop Quiz Book. So it's got all kinds of cool songs or cool questions in it.
You'll have to help me write some questions.
Yeah, like Don McLean's song, which starts with the words "Starry, Starry Night," was a tribute to which famous artist? Just
It's
questions
Van Gogh.
like that are in it, right? Yeah. I think I showed
I'm like a
this.
trivia whiz. It's almost like I won Joe's game show or something.
I think I showed that. Well, yeah, I showed this when I came back from Spain, but I read this on the plane. 60 songs that explain the 90s, but it actually says there's actually way more than that in the book. So this is a good read. If you have a chance to get this one's a good read. And then my brother gave me this. My brother was part of a book club, but he mailed this to me thinking that I would like it, and I really did. It's the I Want My MTV Uncensored Story of MTV. It's really cool. Goes as far as the early 90s, I think, when they kind of really started dying down after Guns N' Roses and all that. Then they kind of just went to the wayside. And then one final book. It's not that I listen to the stuff, but I don't know what it is. I've always been just intrigued by the black metal scene. I don't know what it is. There's just something about the dark metal and the black metal music. I don't listen to it, but just they do a lot of stuff with nature, and I don't know. It's just something fascinating about these gothic type bands. They've got pictures of all. This is what the bands look like when they're not dressed up in all their evil makeup and all that kind of stuff. But it's just some neat books that I have in my my spare time that I might read about different things someday. So yeah, quiz books on music history, albums. Yeah, thought I would show those.
Yeah, that's cool.
So,
Okay, Joe.
all right. How many rounds have we got? A couple at least?
I got a couple more at least, yeah.
Okay, I'm saving one for later. So I showed a little bit of these. I showed a few of them a couple of weeks ago, but I'm going to show all of them fast. I'll do them quick. I put them in order in the whole 9 yards. So these are rock and roll comics. They are basically unauthorized, and there's actually kind of a cool documentary out there about the guy that wrote them all, because they were all unauthorized. He got sued numerous times, including by the first edition band Guns N' Roses, but they're basically just an autobiographical. No, that's not the right word. They're a biography of the bands, basically. This one is in color. One of the first ones they did in color. Actually, well, it was the first one. And there's a couple different editions, but they were cool. Again, I won't take up too much of your time, but I'll go through them quick because they're kind of neat, I think. So it was Revolutionary Comics. Todd something, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but that's who did it. But Guns N' Roses was first, and then it was Metallica was the second edition. I won't go through them all because that'll take too long. But I'll go through the top 10 because I think I've got the top 10. Guns N' Roses number 3 I do not have. I can't remember what 3 is. But Queen and Crew were both episodes number 4. So again, they're just about the bands and all unauthorized and pretty cool. Great artwork, actually. It's pretty decent. And then you can see that by the time they got to the Motley Crues, they went to black and white. But you can see the Boys, the best looking girl group, according to someone I can't remember. Motley Crue is the best looking girl group out there.
I thought that was Poison.
I was going to say that's what Motley Crue said about Poison. You're right. Exactly. I think that's right. I think they were. Def Leppard, which I talked about before. The Rolling Stones. The Who, which was number 8. Number 9 was these guys I talk about from time to time. And they were 9 and 10, actually. And then it was I'll do a couple more. Aerosmith and Led Zeppelin and Van Halen and the Sex Pistols were in here as well. And actually, I'll show this one because we talked about them. Poison. So it was basically just autobiographies. That's not the right word. Autobiography is when you wrote it, right?
Biography, yeah.
They were unauthorized biographies. There was a couple of different versions. There was Rock and Roll Comics by Revolutionary Comics, but then there was also Hard Rock Comics by Revolutionary Comics. they also did Metallica, but then they started doing bands like Jane's Addiction. There was a Nirvana one. They still did Kiss because Kiss always sells. And then there was also a Pearl Jam one. So kind of cool. I don't have them all. I think the last one I've got is edition 49, and I think that there was 65 altogether. And then I think there was 25 in the hard rock ones. But anyway, kind of cool. They're fun to read through if you want to learn a little bit about the bands in a comic book form. They're well done for sure. They were just unauthorized, so the guy took a lot of heat for them. And like I said, there is a pretty cool documentary out there if you can find it on Revolutionary Comics. There you go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to show a 45 and a couple pieces of music memorabilia. So 45 I'm going to show is this one here, which kind of looks like it should be something loud and aggressive, but it's not. I talked before that I'm a massive fan of Matt Mays, the rocker from Eastern Canada. This is a single he put out in 2019 called Let There Be Love, and it's backed with an acoustic version of Let There Be Love. This is at the same time he did his Once Upon a Hell of a Time and Twice Upon a Hell of a Time album. But this is the only place you'll find this Matt Mays song is on this 45. So that's cool, I think, being a Matt Mays completist. Speaking of Matt Mays, I'm going to show this. We talked about concert posters a little while ago. So this is a concert poster from an April 19th show. I don't know what year it was, at Maxwell's in Waterloo, and you can sort of see it's autographed by Matt. I've met Matt many times, but I did not get this personally autographed. The backstory behind this is Maxwell's is a great concert venue in Waterloo, Ontario. It used to be a very small, intimate venue, and then they moved into a much larger venue that I don't know what the capacity is, 700 people. I don't know. It's pretty big now. And when we were all in lockdown in the pandemic, obviously a venue like Maxwell's couldn't host concerts, and it wasn't too long after they'd opened that larger venue. So they faced some uncertainty. So they started auctioning off memorabilia, and I bought that poster, and it comes with a letter from Paul Maxwell, the owner, who I've also met, just thanking people for their support, purchasing things to kind of help pay some of the bills while he couldn't hold concerts. So being such a huge Matt Mays fan and having seen Matt Mays at Maxwell's before, that was just a cool thing to buy. And an unrelated piece of music memorabilia, Richard, you're going to have to add one more to my tally because I'm going to talk about this band for the last time tonight. I have a very large collection of set lists from concerts that I've been to, but I'm going to show this one just because this was not the last Blue Rodeo concert I was at, but this was about maybe a year or two ago, year and a half ago, maybe. This is a set list from one of the two sets that they performed that night. This is Centre in the Square in Kitchener, Ontario. I have multiple Blue Rodeo set lists. There's a one there that's autographed by the whole band. There's another one over there autographed by the whole band. This isn't autographed by anybody, but I just thought the reason I would show this is this was one of my favorite concerts because, as you can see by the ticket, my ticket price was $0. Bearing in mind that this is my favorite band that I love more than anything else, I was on their guest list for this show, which for me, having seen them 54 times to, at long last, because I know somebody, getting put on their guest list was kind of a fun, cool experience. So 2 different pieces of concert memorabilia. So there you go.
Nice.
Nice.
So someone better mention Glass Tiger so I don't win that contest.
Nope. I got a Billy Joel thing coming up, but I don't have any more Glass Tiger. I don't think so.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to beat John with the Billy Joel reference.
No, I think I killed it tonight. Yep. I try.
There's more Bryan Adams coming up, though. I promise.
And in answer to Tim's question, no, I guess that's one band that dude didn't want to take on was the Beatles because that I mean, I don't know how he made out with the Tim asked if there was any Beatles comics. Yeah, I don't know how he made out with his lawsuits, but that was one band he probably would have would have finished him off. Maybe.
And
Sorry,
actually, Tim, I wanted to answer your question because I found out an answer to your question about that board game that I talked about earlier. So there's a board game company out of it's out of Toronto called BoardGameBliss.com, and they have 2 copies of it for $46.95. So BoardGameBliss.com, and they have a copy of vinyl. There's 2 copies left. So there you go. If you want the game, you might be able to order it off of that site.
Yeah, I saw it on Amazon also.
All right,
Cool.
John, you're up. Wallace.
Okay, well, I got inspired by the books, but all my books are over there. I'm like, should I run back and forth this whole time and figure out how I'm going to show these? So I'll bring over a couple highlights, but yeah, really, and I'm real bad. I haven't read most of them yet. I'm more into fiction and things like that, but I'm like, I do need to read these because they hold interest. But since I got into vinyl, I got definitely heavier into the blues and definitely discovered jazz, which I'd never discovered until vinyl. So I actually have a Jazz for Dummies over there book. So it gives you real low basics of jazz and how it started, and even comes with a CD you can listen to. So that's kind of cool. But I also have like one of those album cover books. There's one of jazz albums. I think the best part of jazz is definitely their album covers. They just have so many like cool, classy kind of like album covers like that they do. But I have a Beatles over there. I definitely brought my dad got on a kick for a while, and he was giving me Beatles books after Beatles books, and I'm like, it's like the same thing over and over again. I'm like, I had to say, Dad, please. We have to back off on the Beatles books, but I kept 1 or 2. One is like illustrated stuff, a lot of psychedelic drawings and stuff I thought were pretty cool. And then I have a Ray Charles book, which is sort of an autobiography. I don't know if he wrote everything himself or if he had a little bit of help. Somebody probably had to type it for him, I'm assuming, because that was probably, yeah. So
Boom.
yeah, and I picked that book up in St. Augustine, which I thought was kind of cool because he went to that school for the blind there in St. Augustine. So I thought it was kind of cool that I picked up the Ray Charles book there. I don't know.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I've got the Elton John book, which I thought was really good. He was pretty honest with his life. I thought he did a really good job with that Me book.
Yeah, Joanne did that one. She enjoyed it.
Yeah.
She's a big fan. I mean, I am as well. I just don't read a lot, but yeah, she really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, and I thought it was kind of cool because there's a lot of stuff with him and Rod Stewart where they really went at each other, like joking with each other. I forgot what it was, but Rod Stewart put up a billboard one time kind of making fun of Elton John. I forgot what it was, but it was in there. I thought it was pretty funny. But then I have there's that Bob Dylan. Well, I think Dylan has 3 books. He had Tarantula, I believe. And then he had Chronicles. And then that one he just put out where he's talking about old albums, which is really cool. Or just actually music he likes. And he gives you this perspective of what he thinks about these albums. And it makes you really think about these albums in a different way. So that's a really cool book. I'll show that one. It was this one, The Philosophy of Modern Song by Bob Dylan. So he just goes through all these different artists and just gives almost like little essays on all these artists. And it was like bands you didn't even expect. I think there's even like more modern grunge bands and things like that that you didn't even think Bob Dylan would be into. But just a really cool kind of book. And then I've got the Paul McCartney one that he put out, I guess his lyrics one. It's a double book. Did you guys see that one?
Yep.
It was like,
Nope, I didn't.
about all his stuff. Yeah, this one I definitely haven't read yet, but it's a big ass book, all the lyrics. That was pretty popular for a while. I waited for it to go on discount. I don't even know why I really got it because, I mean, I like some of McCartney's lyrics, but I don't consider him like the greatest writer of lyrics. I guess he has some good stuff in there, so maybe this will change my mind on that. Yeah, he's not I don't know how you describe it, but hopefully this will change my idea of Paul McCartney's lyrics. But if this doesn't, then nothing will. Because look at this.
No,
Yeah.
great.
Just read it for next week and report back to us, would you?
Yeah, the light reading, not a big deal.
You sit on the toilet or whatever.
Yeah, I've got I forgot about this too. I've got a Graham Nash one. This is kind of cool because I actually met him for this book signing, and he's a photographer too. You take a lot of pictures and stuff. But in here somewhere, he signed it.
Cool.
I don't know where I'm getting feedback. But I told him the story because he has that song, Don't Say Goodbye. I mentioned it before that me and my wife actually danced to at our wedding and stuff. So I told him that story. So he dedicated the book to us. So that was kind of cool. And it was kind of neat to meet him. Rock and roll history kind of guy. And another one, well, the Springsteen autobiography was really good too. That dude can write. Holy crap. I mean, he looks like a doofus, like when he talks sometimes, as some goofy guy. Oh my God, dude is intellectual as hell. Holy crap. So the way he wrote that book was just amazing. And he got pretty personal in there. I'm sure he left some stuff out, but he talked about his first divorce and all that stuff, and really just gave you a good idea of his life, even talking about Vietnam and things like that. But the other one that's kind of cool. And for you Sting fans, I've got the lyrics by Sting, which kind of cool. But they put this out, and I wish they would do this with a lot more artists, but it's all the songs. So this takes you up to, what was the one after Western Stars where he's standing there in the snow?
Can't remember for sure.
Yeah, whatever.
Letter to You, isn't it?
Yeah, Letter to You. I think it takes you from all the way in the beginning to Letter for You. It shows the lyrics, then it gives you a story behind each of the lyrics. So for me, I'm that guy. I'm like, I want to know what the song was about. I want to know what inspired the song. He talks about Blinded by the Light, and he's still puzzled why they changed it to wrap it up like a douche instead of a deuce. So talks about all that in here. So it's just it's a big ass book because he only wrote a couple songs, right? But
yeah.
It's just kind of cool.
Just a few.
Gives you a couple pictures and then the lyrics and then the story behind them, what album, all that stuff. So really cool. I've seen them do this with I think there's a Hendrix one. There's multiple artists. So there's more artists I'd like to see them do this with. So it's pretty cool. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So all those books, and maybe one day I'll actually read them. There's a Petty over there too. There's a really cool Tom Petty that I have where it's partly where one person interviewed him half the book, and then half the book is like interviews that they did with him with magazines and things like that. So I need to read that one. So yeah, it's important to read and listen to your music. There you go.
Right. You guys want to go around again? Let's go around again. We got some more stuff.
Are we going once or twice?
Depends how much you guys. I can do two.
I can do one, but you guys do your thing.
Two.
Okay.
Right.
So
Let's do whatever you got, whether it's normal or you want to do a speed round or whatever. But we'll do two more.
Okay.
Let her rip, Daryl.
All right. So I'm going to show just more memorabilia for this one and some DVDs. And then my last round I'll finish up with some 12-inch singles. All right. So earlier I had mentioned that I got something. Oh, the Vomit Fall CD disc. I had also ordered some vinyl on Discogs, and the guy apologized because one of the records I wanted he didn't have. So he just threw in a whole pile he refunded me for that, and he threw in some random stuff. So I've never been to this concert, but I think you guys would find this interesting. This is a ticket stub for the main stage at Fort Henry, and it was a 5440 concert with the Headstones as their special guests. So he gave me a ticket stub, so I think that was kind of cool, 1995. He also gave me this. I'd never heard of this, but some I don't know if it's a magazine or whatever it is, a pamphlet called The Confidential certain edition, but I think this particular one I think is kind of cool because it says CDs may now be sold in vending machines.
I saw that. Yeah.
It's a whole article about vending machines and CDs, and then many surprises in the Leonard Skinner box. I'm assuming that's like some kind of a partial box set. I haven't really read through this pamphlet, but yeah, no, it's just somebody who wrote some articles, and apparently you could get this for $27 a year for a subscription, it says on it. So hey, there you go. Anyway, just some random stuff that a guy sent me through Discogs. And then some DVDs I have. I haven't watched this one in a long time. I got this for $5 at a yard sale, but it's the 40th anniversary of the Woodstock Festival, and it comes with that whole hippie looking I don't know what it is.
That's good packaging. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And then on the inside, all the DVDs is the box that holds that. So that's kind of neat. Of course, last week I talked about Weird Al Yankovic. I couldn't go by without talking about UHF.
Yeah.
Such a ridiculous movie, but it's hilarious. So I think that's kind of cool. And then the next one, you guys are going to be like, why are you showing these guys? Well, first of all, I used to love these guys and watch them every Friday night religiously because of how stupid they were. But they used to make fun of music, and they also used to praise certain bands. So I'm going to show you my 3 DVDs by Beavis and Butthead. So
I love Beavis and Butthead, man. I think they're great.
MTV, Beavis and Butthead, set 1, set 2, and set 3.
There you go.
So there we go. But I don't know that when I was a teenager, I used, like I said, we were talking about waiting to press the record button on a boombox. I used to do that with VHS tapes all the time.
Yep.
Recording. I don't know whatever happened to them. I had 2 VHS tapes full of all the Beavis and Butthead episodes, and I would pause them when the commercials would come on and all that stuff. So there we go. Why not?
Yeah.
Cornholio. I need tippy for my bungo.
Yeah.
All right, Joe.
All right. Couple things before I get into a different thing, but they're all going to be together. First off, this is one for John.
Hell's with your voice, man.
What do you mean?
Sounds a little odd.
Does it sound a little weird?
Billy
All
Joel
right.
is not using auto tuner, Joe.
All right, I'll just put it back to normal. So,
Special effects by
Joanne-
Joe tonight.
Joanne is a big Elton John fan. Joanne is a big David Bowie fan. Joanne is also a very big Billy Joel fan. So another one for Billy, because there's a nice. I don't think it's live autographed, but it is Billy on his bike, and you can just think he's riding his bike out in the rain, I would imagine, in that one. So that was something that she got. She must have got that. And then remember, hold on, it's right there. I get it for you, just in case, for those that don't remember, from a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
right? Billy Joel freak. I know it's backwards, but anyway, so yes, Joanne is a Billy Joel freak, and she's got her, look at the hair. Look at the hair he's got going there. He doesn't need a helmet, man. That's a helmet all by itself.
That's right around glass houses right there.
Yeah, and then another teen idol at the time, and this actually came with like a nice little stand. You could put this on your nightstand, and one Mr. Donny Osmond could sit there and stare at you all night if you wanted to. So that's just. I would like Richard, if you could. I'd like to start Donny Osmond. That's going to be the only one, I'm pretty sure. But
I don't think that name will ever get mentioned ever again.
it might not. You never know. He's a little bit country, and his sister's a little bit rock and roll, from what I understand.
Apparently.
Speaking of rock and roll and All You Need Is Love, this is a book from the Cirque du Soleil production of Love in Las Vegas. I've been to Las Vegas 7 times. I've seen the Beatles Love 7 times. It's just, I just go every time. It's fantastic. It's awesome. I don't know what they're going to do because the Hard Rock is taking over that hotel, and I assume that they'll put them back in there again, but I'm not sure. So there's a tour book.
Add that to the will list, would you? And I can just add it to my vinyl when after
I
you.
certainly will. I certainly will.
We're divvying up Joe's stuff before he's even dead.
It's okay. That's
What
all
a
right.
bunch of assholes.
No, that's all right. What else? This is a lovely Elton John book. A little a little less energetic these days if you saw him on Saturday Night Live on the weekend, or if you saw him in that Brandy Carlisle concert was on Sunday night on NBC as well. But Rocket Man Tour, jumping up back probably at Dodger Stadium times. But the books from the tours were pretty cool. I mean, you got a T-shirt that you could take home and you could wear, but the books were kind of cool. Couple more quick ones. This is Because We Can, Bon Jovi. I don't know if I showed this one or not before, but another tour program from Bon Jovi back in the day. There's John, his old self, jumping up, and he's got his big American leather jacket on. This is from, I'm not sure what tour this is from. Interactive tour program. See details on the inside cover. Get into the picture. Anyway, that's that. One from these guys. Again, autographed on the back, but they're not real autographs. This one's kind of cool. Huey Lewis and the News. I didn't ever see these guys. I actually came across this program. I'm not sure where. Everybody else I have seen, but I didn't ever get a chance to see Huey Lewis. But again, just tons of great photos, great pictures on the inside. That one's kind of neat. One more by Kiss. This one's a Madonna one, and it's thick. Like it's not. It's pretty good, and really it's just Madonna being Madonna, and it's just a bunch of pictures of her. That's really all it is. But it was a tour book, so if you needed all of the pictures of Madonna that you could have, plus a few more, the MDNA tour, that. And last but not least, again, one of Joanne's guys back there. I did not see this gentleman. She did see him. It's David Bowie. And some fantastic stuff. And I think I've shown this before, but there is her ticket to go and see Sir David back in the day. It was, I don't know if there's a price on there, $32.70 to go and see David Bowie at the Winnipeg Arena back in I can't friggin' remember. It doesn't say on there. Anyway. Oh, yeah, there it is. March 10th of 90. So it cost you $32 to go see David Bowie back in 1990. It's a pretty good deal. Yeah, it's crazy. So there's a few tour books.
Tour books.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right.
Madonna one's really nice and shiny too.
Yeah, there's tons of great pictures in there for sure. So there's a few I left out too. But anyway, those were kind of the ones that I wanted to show for now. Rob, you're up.
Okay. These are all 12-inch, but 12-inch EP and 12-inch single. And that counts because I make up the rules. You have this, Joe?
No, I do not have that one. No, I've got a couple. Not that one.
Bruce Springsteen, Chimes of Freedom. I don't know the whole backstory behind this, but this is live recordings from 1988. So Tougher Than the Rest, Be True, Chimes of Freedom, and Born to Run. So this would have been, I guess, on the tour. For, what was 86? Was that Born in the USA? No,
Tougher
Than the Rest. So that was on Tunnel of Love. So this would have been on the Tunnel of Love tour. So
nice.
There you go. And I love live recordings. So a Bruce Springsteen live EP. This is also for you, Joe. I know you're going to want these, but you can't have them. 12-inch single of Born to Run by your pal Bryan Adams. Richard, you better get the pen ready on the list here. I'm ready back with Cuts Like a Knife. I like Cuts Like a Knife, and I hate the song I'm Ready, but these are specially remixed versions.
Ooh.
Okay.
Awesome.
I guess. Don't go anywhere, Richard. A Bryan Adams EP, 3 songs. Summer of 69 and Diana, along with the Bryan Adams mix, which is a mix of Somebody to Love, It's Only Love, Diana, Fits You Good, and Somebody, remixed by some person named Sandy X, whoever the hell that is, I don't know. But I think I don't know if Diana was released on a studio album or not. I think it was only a single. So
yeah,
that.
Just when just in case you needed more Bryan Adams and Summer of 69, it's the extended mix.
Correct. And then one more 12-inch single of Somebody. It's got Somebody on it, and it has Long Gone and Lonely Nights. All of these were album tracks, so who cares?
What is up with that album cover?
I know. And then I have 2 picture discs, and that's going to be all for me for. Well, maybe I'll show one more thing this round. I have a couple picture discs. This one still has the shrink on it, but the shrink is opened. And I can't bear myself to take the shrink off because it has a sticker on it. So anyway, this is the Giles Martin anniversary remix of Sgt. Pepper, which is my favorite album of all time. And lastly, the first picture disc that I ever owned. This was my dad's. I don't know why the hell my dad owned it because I never heard him listen to this band, but Parallel Lines by Blondie. So I don't mind the album. I think it's pretty good. I'm shocked that my old man had it. But so this is a remnant from his collection. I've never ever shown this before because I don't know why. Do I want to show anything else?
Drummer from Blondie just passed away a couple days ago.
Exactly. Okay, I'll show 2 more 10-inch. I love this. This was a Record Store Day release. This is Creedence. This is the, what do they call it? The 1969 singles. So it's the 8 singles that they released in 1969. Just bear in mind that all of these were singles put out in the same year.
Yeah.
Proud Mary, Born on the Bayou, Bad Moon Rising, Lodi, Green River, Commotion, Down on the Corner, and Fortunate Son. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's a good year.
You think?
That dude could write a song to save his life, man.
Yeah.
And it's on white vinyl, which is kind of cool. And then the last one I'm going to show is another colored vinyl offering from the stupidest movie ever made. From Rocky Horror Picture Show, I have a colored vinyl of Time Warp, which I think that song is fantastic. The movie's stupid, but good song. There you go. That's it for my turn.
Oh, those are all cool. I like that Blondie picture disc, though. That looks cool.
Yeah, let me just see what the second side looks like here. I don't think I've played this in eons, but
Probably just Debbie.
there's the second side.
Yeah, Debbie.
I like the second side.
Yeah, I bet you do. So, let's just see here. A couple comments. Yes, Rick is confirming the only place you can get the song Diana because allegedly Brian had a torrid love affair with Princess Di. So,
Yeah.
that Run to You 12-inch came out on red vinyl. I think mine's just black, but so look at this: Brian Adams 5, Billy Joel Infinity +1. So there you go.
That's right.
Him saying when he met Brian, someone brought Diana to get signed, and which is why he refused to sign it. Yeah, exactly. He's kind of touchy about that subject. That Springsteen is from the Human Rights Now tour. Yes, thank you. I do remember reading that now. So it's a great EP, Joe. If you ever find it,
I'll have to look for it. Yeah, for sure.
Good. I found it at a flea market for like $2.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah. All right, let's do one more round. Make it a speed round. If you pulled it, you show it. So, Daryl.
Okay. All right. So I only have one 10-inch in my entire collection. I have no picture discs. But I have a 10-inch single. It's not a single, but it's an EP. The Red Dead 2 Redemption house building EP. The only time that these songs are played in the entire game are in the epilogue, so you have to beat the game in order to hear the songs. So the inner sleeve, really nice artwork on there. And it is a light blue 10-inch. So really nice. And then I have some 12-inch singles that for some reason, I randomly have these. And so, as you said, Rob, you pull them, you show them.
Right.
So I have a 12-inch Lionel Richie, Love Will Conquer All. So I can't even say that I've even listened to that one, but I'm sure it's an okay song. Now, earlier, Joe showed the 45 of this. but I have the 12-inch of Tears Are Not Enough with the desert sand there, Northern Lights. So got that. And then a couple of just random, I'm assuming these are like 1980s like dance stuff, but a guy named Gene Loves Jezebel and a 12-inch single Desire. I found that at like a flea market. And another dance single, Sleeping Lion, Sound of My Heart. All right. And then I have one more 12-inch single, but I'm going to show the CDs that go with this because I can't afford the vinyl version of Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. I only have them on DVD, or on CD, I mean.
Do you want me to go get it just to rub it in and be an asshole?
if you want, but here's the thing. I have the CDs, but I also have the 12-inch single for 1979.
Cool.
So I thought I would pair those together. And one last one. I know Joe has stepped out, but
No, I'm always
reason I-
listening. I apologize. I'm always listening. I just had to go do something.
that's all good. The reason I'm showing this one is you showed your record that you're not 100% sure if it's an official copy or not, but I cannot afford the Anima album, so I have the CD, which that is one of the most disturbing CDs ever.
Happening.
You know exactly what's going on there.
I can do that.
And if there was one concert I wish I could have gone to, and this is actually, I wish that they would release this on vinyl. I don't know why they've never done it, is the Woodstock 94. But I think it's great. I wish I had the VHS tape because it would be the only VHS tape I had in my collection. But I know there's a VHS tape of it. And I'm going to end with, this was a gift, a Father's Day gift from my wife. And it is a coffee mug saying that, Dad, you're a classic.
You are a legend.
So
I need one of those. Here we go.
that's my memorabilia right there, and all the different
Excellent.
stuff I got. So
Great.
really cool way to end off. Your turn, Joe.
All right. Is that other thing there, Rob?
It is. You want me to push the button?
All right. Let's go over there.
Okay. Ready? Here we go.
Tell me when you can. You
We're
see
ready.
me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, I'd be remiss if I did not show a little bit of Kiss. So, I think some of you, if not all of you, have maybe seen my pinball machine before, but that's kind of the prized possession in the Kiss collection, I suppose. It's an original, not that there was remakes. There was a remake, actually, but it was a different version of it that they made because they didn't sell a whole bunch. It's from 1970 whatever, but yeah, so obviously that's one of my prized possessions. A couple of other quick little things here, a couple of cards, some Kiss cards. There was a whole set back in the 70s, but I have some of it, but I don't have all of it. So there's the collector cards. I'm not sure. Those are kind of coming through. Maybe can you see those collector cards? Okay, cool. There's that. Then there is also some T-shirts, and Rob has a great video out there that I recommend everybody to watch where he shows an album of a T-shirt. Been there, got the T-shirt, so look for that one. This is from Alive Worldwide, 96, 97. This is when the boys got back together, put the makeup on, went back out on tour, the hottest band in the world, of course, the self-proclaimed hottest band in the world. That is a never-worn T-shirt. And then this is from the farewell tour, and you'll notice it says 1973 to 2000. That was the farewell tour. And then there was the second farewell tour. Then there was the third and the fourth and the fifth. Anyway, there's the back. Legends never die. Gene Simmons just keeps taking your money. And this is also from that same tour, the farewell tour from 2000, 73 to 2000. I hope the four guys who make up the group, whose names don't matter, are putting money away for the future, the near future, because Kiss won't be around long. Seattle Daily News, May 27th, 1974. So that's a clip that they put out there. And lastly, that I will show you is, I don't think I've shown this before, but this is guitar, which I do not play. I have guitar picks. I have guitars. I just don't have any talent. But this is a limited edition that Paul Stanley put out, and I'm not sure if that's on camera or not. But that is actually, I know some of the other stuff was fake, but this is actually signed. They made 1,000 of these or something like that. He signed them all, or at least that's what the story is. And it is, you can feel it, like it is a Sharpie that's signed on there. So there you go. That's another one of my possessions for the band Kiss. Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley have a lot of my money. You can see the picture discs up on the wall, the pinball machine, the T-shirts, all of that stuff. So there you go. That's some of my Kiss collection, a little bit anyway.
Hey, Joe, why don't you tell the story about how you got the pinball machine? Because someone's asking. So
Sure. Yeah. You can check.
We gotta bring that one back.
hold on. Let's do this again now. High tech post production here. Okay, go ahead.
There you go. So I used to live in Regina, and I moved up to Saskatoon, which is 250 kilometers to the north. Anyway, and then eventually moved back. So I sold my house in Saskatoon when we moved here, made a little bit of money, and actually went back to an arcade that I used to play that machine in. And it is that specific machine because I went in, I don't know what made me think they'd have it still around, but I asked the guy, hey, have you got the Kiss machine for sale? Because it wasn't in there. He goes, yeah, actually I do. It's in my garage at home. Paid $1,000 for it, which now is insane because much like everything else, like records have gone up and baseball cards have gone up and comic books have gone up. Same with pinball machines. So, yeah, it was just sitting in some dude's garage. Actually, not some dude. It's the guy that owned the arcade, but it was one that he had put away and kept, and he sold it, and I've had it ever since, and it still works. We could still go and play. If you guys come to visit, what are we doing? We're going for hamburgers, we're going for smash burgers, and we're going to play a little Kiss pinball. So there you go.
There we
There
go.
you go. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. I'm going to round this out. I'm going to show a couple CDs,
Wow.
right? 2 sets by the same band. John showed the DVD earlier. Last Waltz by the band. I have the utmost reverence for these fine gentlemen. I've talked countless times about what I love about this band and why I love them. 2 things to say about this. This was the anniversary, I guess, the something anniversary, 25th, 35th, I don't know. They came out in 2002. And this is the full shebang. This is 4 discs. So this is more than what's on the 2 LP vinyl record that has been for sale since 1978. This is the full shebang. And it also has a book built into it. And I still kept the hype sticker, believe it or not.
It's good.
I'm showing this because The Last Waltz, I think, is the greatest live album ever made and one of my favorite albums of all time. And this is the only place you can get all of it. This is available on vinyl as a 6 LP set. It's very hard to find. It's very expensive. Someday I will buy it because it is at the very top of my wish list. There are always copies for sale on Discogs, but it's like $300, and I'll do it at some point in time. But anyway, for the time being, this is it. The other reason that I have this is my dad was a big fan of the band, and anyone who's a regular viewer know how much I've talked about my dad, and he's kind of that's still he's passed away. He's been gone 15 years now, 16 years now. But music's kind of my tie to my dad, and it was a thing him and I bonded over. And I bought this for my dad as either a birthday present or a Christmas present in 2002 when it came out. I didn't have 2 cents to rub together because I was fresh out of university, living on my own, trying to pay student loans and whatever. But I saved up to $80 to buy this for my dad and gave it to him. And then when he passed away, obviously I kept it. So that's number 1. Number 2 is this CD box set. This is called Across the Great Divide. This is also the band. This is a career spanning retrospective. 2 discs of songs from their albums, basically an anthology, if you will. And then the third disc is all either unreleased stuff or hard to find stuff when they were Ronnie Hawkins and the Hawks, stuff when they were the Hawks backing Bob Dylan, a lot of unreleased stuff. This came out in 1994 when I was in high school. I think I was maybe 15-ish, working, at a shitty minimum wage job. And again, I scraped up the money to buy this for my dad for a birthday present, and it meant the world to him, and it still means the world to me. So 2 CDs by the band. I'm going to wrap this up real quick with 4 45s, and then we'll be done. John showed some Star Wars earlier. I got some Star Wars too. This is a 45 picture disc for Star Wars Rebels, the cartoon, which is, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, so this is kind of cool. It's got Kanan and Ezra and Chopper on this side, and then it has a Stormtrooper on this side. I don't actually even know what the hell. It says it's the Rebels theme, and it's a remix of the Rebels theme. So there you go. That's cool. Someone, I think it was John, mentioned earlier about gatefold 45s that you don't see them very often. I have this. This looks like Waylon Jennings. It is Waylon Jennings, but this is not a Waylon Jennings 45. This is the old 97s, and this is called what is it called? It's not called anything. What it is on there's 2 45s in here. Let's see if I think they're colored. Yeah, they're a gold color. The first one is Waylon Jennings and the old 97s. So I believe the story goes he passed away and they worked on this, or maybe they worked on it together. I don't remember the deal, but it's them doing 2 songs, Iron Road and the other side. And then the second disc is just 2 demos that the old 97s did, Visiting Hours and Firefly. So I'm a big old 97s fan. In fact, I have almost all of their discography. So this was a cool Record Store Day release. So again, a gatefold 45 on colored vinyl. So that's kind of cool. Now we'll close this out with the Beatles. Joe showed an original UK Beatles EP. I have one as well, not in nearly as nice shape. This is Twist and Shout. So this is UK. It's got the Garden Lofthouse flip backs on it. It's on Parlophone. My center is missing out of this because the original UK 45s had kind of like a star affixed to the middle, but a lot of them get lost over time. This says Twist and Shout, A Taste of Honey. Do you want to know a secret? And this is There's Place. I would love to get all of their EPs eventually. I only have that one as an original, and this one, which came out as a Record Store Day release, and it was a very faithful reproduction with the flip backs and everything. This is Long Tall Sally, which also is I Call Your Name, Slow Down, and Matchbox. So 2 Beatles 45 EPs, and that's everything I'm going to show. And John's going to bring us home.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, like cool random stuff around the room, try to get my girls to share my love of vinyl, but my daughter made this one here. It's kind of cool. Just off of an old Eggo box.
That's cool.
Cool. Father's Day thing. I thought that was kind of cool, like spacey with a vinyl, and thought that was kind of cool. And then another year, she got even more creative. Went out to the train tracks around back, got some rocks, and boom.
Nice. That's awesome. That's great.
So it's just little stuff like that, it's like really cool. But yeah, when they were tiny, it's always been music. So, well, here's my first daughter. We were doing a photo shoot for her, and I just happened to have one of my first guitars I bought like in high school in my car. Ran out and got it, so we got to take this picture. So we got that shot. Just put her on my lap and grabbed the guitar. So I thought that's cool. So yeah,
That's nice.
and that big smile on her face. So, and then my second daughter, I was in a band at one point, and she used to like play with her little guitar, and I still have the guitar over there. And she came up to the stage and she put a lollipop in her mouth, and you can see it looks like a cigarette hanging out there. like a Bad Company album or something. But yeah, she's sitting there, and I'm over here to the side and just singing, and she's pretending like she's playing along there. So
That's great.
yeah, so little things like that make a music room complete, as far as I'm concerned. And then I don't know if I've showed this before, but it's my wife got this for her birthday one year. This is the acoustic that Sheryl Crow plays. It's an old country and western guitar. So this is not her signature. She wouldn't sign the guitar. I went and saw her at Ruth Eckerd Hall, and she had the guitar in her hands, but she wouldn't sign it. I don't know if it was a contract thing or whatever. So I don't know if you know her musicians, but there's Peter Stroud that plays with her, lead guitar player. So I told him to sign it. He's like, I'm going to ruin your guitar. I said, I'm just proving to you I'm not selling this guitar.
Right.
Yeah.
So he signed it, and I'm like, well, maybe next time she sees it, she'll sign it. But it is signed because it's a limited edition guitar. So her signature's actually in there. She signed each one of these when they came out. So
Very cool.
and it's a quality guitar. It's electric acoustic, and the action's awesome on it. So yeah, so that's one of my prized possessions.
Nice.
And then yeah, I mean, when I met Graham Nash, he signed this also. I don't even think I've even listened to this set, the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young 74, but he signed it there also. That was kind of cool memory of that day. And last thing I was going to show you, it's some CDs, but I'm going through this stack of CDs over here that I've just accumulated, and I need to decide if I'm going to keep them or not. So I'm taking some time to listen to them. And I was kind of surprised on some of the stuff I was keeping. I don't know if you guys are into Dwight Yoakam. He had an album this time in the 80s that I really liked. It was a really good country pop album. And this is the tour, I believe, after that, because he's doing some of the songs from that album. But really good. You like live albums, Rob. This is like some good live stuff right here. Like good country, picking, all that stuff. Not Garth Brooks crap. It's country. It's
Real
like,
country.
yeah. It's like rockabilly, right? Not rockabilly.
Yeah.
He's kind of, I guess he was rockabilly.
Yeah,
but
you could call him that. Yeah.
a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But he just had something about him. He's pretty cool.
Mhm.
I found this Bonnie Raitt. I don't know if this is her first album, but really bluesy, really good. So I wasn't surprised that I liked this album, but it's kind of cool. And the one that really took me by surprise that I just never thought I'd get into her, now I like 3 of her albums, is one of your fellow Canadians, but Joni Mitchell. For years I haven't been able to get into her, but I played this one first. And I'm like, oh crap, because I think she did Coyote at the Last Waltz, I believe.
Yep.
And I always liked that song. And I'm like, well, maybe there's more. So that was the first song off this album. And I just totally got into the album from there. And I think that led me into, because then I did Blue, which I couldn't get into before, because I'm not a big fan of those high-pitched vocals. But there was something after I heard that first album that I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm kind of getting it. And I enjoyed Blue. And then I just listened to, I don't know what this one is. I don't know. It's that one. I don't remember the name of it, but really surprised and happy that I could actually find a little gateway into Joni Mitchell, because I've always appreciated her talent, and her voice is amazing, and her storytelling, her lyrics, all that. So just past couple of days, I'm like, holy crap, I like 3 Joni Mitchell albums. So that's cool. So that's what I have, because I'll spare you on, all my 45s of who, because I could take you to infinity and beyond. But honorable mentions could be, Peter Cetera and the Karate Kid 2, Glory of Love. Come on.
Mhm.
There you go. Wax on, wax it off. Good Phil Collins, Against All Odds. Let's go. Men Without Hats, the safety dance. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Canadians, good Canadian kids.
Oh, are they? Oh, I didn't realize they were Canadians. Okay.
They are.
And
I have it somewhere.
and then of course, to end it all, Corey Hart, Sunglasses at Night.
That's all.
There you go. So whatever you want ordered for Record Store Day, Rob, this might just fall in there somehow.
Oh God.
Because you want it. You want it.
Don't we all?
Yes. So there you go. I ended on a high note.
Wow. You ended. We'll say that.
You're speechless. I know.
Wow, guys, that was an experience. That was fun.
That was good. Yeah.
That was good.
Sure.
I like that. That was good because you got to see some different stuff. And I look around here and I go, I have 55 other things I could have shown, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, including all of those guitars on the back. We could just do a whole night of talking about your guitars too, which would work.
I could.
Yeah.
I built that one myself right there.
And not a single friggin' record to put away because, 45 just go in a spot. They don't have to go in any order.
Right.
So it's good. Yeah. I need to know when we're officially allowed to talk about 12-inch again, though, for a second. 33.
You
12 inch.
can talk about it now.
Okay. Speaking of Joni Mitchell, and Raised on Robbery, look what I got, Rob.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And what do you think of it?
It's great. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. Obviously, if you're a Canadian of the right age, it's got all the songs. You start singing along. They do a great job. The theme from the Trans-Canada Highwaymen is pretty good, too. I like
So much
that.
fun.
That's all right. Yeah, but Heartbeat is the Love Beat, the DeFranco family. Raised on Robbery, which is Joni Mitchell. Tonight is a Wonderful Time to Fall in Love, April Wine. It's basically, I talk about Took all the time. This is the Eastern Canada version of Took, right? Took was Harlequin Trooper, those guys.
Yeah.
But this is really, really good. And again, it's not that I didn't believe you. It just took me a while to remember to actually order it and get it in. So, and Joanne goes, what the hell is that? Why'd you bring home a K-Tel record? I said, it's not a
It's
K-Tel
not.
record.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good.
The one that hooked me on that was their cover of the Stampeders "Carry Me." For some reason, I'm like, oh man, that is awesome.
Oh yeah. I mean the voices work well together. The guys that sing the songs that they chose,
Yeah.
I got to know if they got together and they all picked some stuff and knew that that's a song they were going to sound good on. But they could all sound fine, but Mo sounds really good on the songs that he picked, and Stephen Page sounds really good. Yeah. Fun, great record. And it's cheap too. In the grand scheme of records these days, cost was $20. So you shouldn't have to pay more than $30 for that anywhere. I wouldn't think anyway, but good
Record
stuff.
Hound wants to know what K-Tel album is that cover art inspired from. I was going to say all of them. I have no idea.
I think maybe 22 Explosive Hits, maybe, if I was to think about it. And that's off the top of my head. I don't know if that's what you were thinking of, Record Hound, but 22 Explosive Hits. I'd have to look and see what that one looks like, but
I knew you'd like that, Joe. That album was just fantastic.
yeah, it's great. It's great.
Well, guys, we'll do what we usually do. We'll wrap this up because we have apparently the answer is Music Express.
Music Express. There you go. Yep.
John, since you're our featured guest, anything you want to say about your channel? Any videos you want to promote?
Yeah, and also I want to promote Kingfish Records. They have their channel. I'm helping with their videos over there also. So we're going to have some cool Record Store Day content, and every week we do a new release kind of thing, reissue, new release video. Trying to get them to do more videos on their used stuff because those people love to watch those videos of the used stuff more than I think the new releases and stuff. For me, I still have. I finally did the Billy Joel ranking, so I'll do that video. I'm going through Tom Waits' complete catalog, so I hope to do a whole. That's going to be an interesting one to see his transition through the years and his style change and all that. It's going to be really cool to do that. So I'm working on that one. And I started to do Neil Young too, but then it gets a little cloudy. It's like, okay, do I just do the standard releases as they are without all the extra albums, or should I go through the albums that weren't? So it's kind of complicated. I'm not sure what to do with Neil Young yet, but those are the main ones I'm working on, and right now it's just finding time to shoot the dang videos. It's like I have all my research, I have tons of notes, and I'm not shooting the dang thing. So finding time. See, Rob, you just stole 3 of my hours. I could have done like 4 videos tonight.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you had fun though, right? You had fun.
Hell yeah. So
Yeah.
it's okay. All right. At least I'm in this video. So yeah. So that's what I got. That's what I have going on.
All right. What about you, Daryl? A video making machine recently.
Yeah, it was a video making machine. I actually had them kind of set on a timer. I do have one that's going to drop Friday morning At 7 a.m. Eastern time. It's my 100th YouTube video. So
Cool.
I'm there. I think it includes, I think when I say that, it includes like, what do you call those shorts? I think I got like 4 shorts or whatever. I think it's included. But it is, I know that people are like tired of threads and challenges, but it is a thread challenge kind of a thing. But I hope you participate in it. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but watch it. Like I said, Friday morning, it'll be there.
Well, we have to now, because if we don't, we're going to sound like dicks.
Yeah.
What's that?
If we don't do it now, we're going to sound like assholes.
Thanks for the pressure, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I got to do Daryl's video now. God damn it. I'll do it as long as it's not spell something. If it spells something, screw that. I ain't doing
No,
it.
it's not. It's not spell something.
Okay.
Definitely not spell something. It kind of goes along. Remember, I've been emailing you guys every now and again just about I thought April was Mental Health Month.
Right.
It's going to have something to kind of do with that and some other stuff.
Okay.
It's actually based on an episode we did on this show.
Oh boy.
To do with like just all kinds of. I can't explain it. Just watch.
We'll wait for your video.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, if you haven't checked out some of the other ones, I've thrown out the last things that I found at that radio station. So those 2 came out this past weekend, and I did one with the board game, the music board games. So if you haven't checked that out, I mean, it's not for everyone, but I did kind of go through some run-throughs on how to play some of the games and might give you some ideas. And then I'm going to try to – there's a lot of different, like, ideas that I've been getting from some other channels that have been throwing out videos. Like that 1001 albums one, I think is a pretty neat one. So I don't know if you've seen it, but if you haven't, Static Traveler did a video recently where he wants you to show 5 albums from your collection that you think should be in the 1001 albums, because if you were to look in that book, you'd see it's going to be the Beatles, it's going to be Radiohead, it's going to be Rolling Stones. What are some albums from your collection that you think should be in there but are not, kind of thing? So that's kind of where I'm going in the future, is just got some ideas that have come out from all kinds of other channels. So cool. It's almost like stealing their ideas, but hey,
That's what we do here.
We do.
Everything is just an offshoot of, everything else is just an offshoot of something else. Whoever started the first YouTube channel, that everything else is based off of the first thing that they came up with. So don't ever feel bad about that. Listen to what you want to listen to, enjoy what you want, do the videos you want to, and away you go.
Yeah.
Right. That's it.
And throw the cassettes in the garbage and rip the shrink wrap off your records.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe? What's going on either at the store or on Racer Records?
The store's good. Store's still busy. We've got our 1-year anniversary coming up, actually.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. And actually falls on a Saturday, so we're going to do some stuff. I picked up a nice little collection the other day. I picked up another nice little collection tomorrow. That all is going to go out. We'll have a decent selection of some hip-hop and some metal and a little bit of everything for people on the 10th. And as far as my channel, I think I did, what the hell did I do? I mean, I know I did my little promo thing, and we'll talk about that in a second. I think I did a couple other ones. Oh, I did the Animal Challenge one, the one that Glenn did. I think, Daryl, you've done. I'm not sure, Rob, if you guys have done that or not. But, yeah, it's just a quick one. If you want to get a video in, it's quick. It's like 5 things you got to do, and 2 of them are have a channel and talk about the other channels. So, really, it's only 3 things. It's pretty straightforward. But you get to show some pets, which is always fun to talk about. And then the game show, which we started last week. Thank you guys both for coming on. Thank you, John, for watching. I know there were some others that were watching that are watching us here as well. It was fun. I've got a few different twists for next week, and maybe we'll have the defending champion on, and maybe we'll bring back a guy whose buzzer didn't work, and then I'll find a third for next week. John, if you're not busy, you're welcome to join if you want to play along. Still no prizes, but Wednesday nights, an hour, the top of the hour after we finish. As an example, this evening, it would be in 6 minutes. So it's 9 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern time, which I know is late for some of you guys, but you're all Nighthawks, and I appreciate you staying up and playing. It was fun. People have watched the replay. People were watching and playing along live. So it was good. I'm going to do it every couple of weeks. Come up with 10 questions, have some fun, talk about music, talk about, I've got a few questions related to the community as well that are going to come up in the next one because I've kind of got it all laid out and ready to go. So, yeah, other than that, and Daryl, I apologize because I hit the wrong button. When you said something, I gave you the sad trombone. It was actually supposed to be, that. So if you watch this back later and you go, fuck you, Joe, with the sad trombone, because I can't remember what it was. But
It was his 100th.
It was my
video.
100th video.
yeah,
I think
I
it
hit
was.
the wrong button, man. It was completely the wrong button. So
You have no life.
anyway,
I should I should program some sound effects in here. I still have this back from when we used to do this with Glenn. I got the duck.
yeah, I found a program. I was just having some fun because I want to do an announcer. I'll just be the announcer for the game show. So I found the program. So there's a bunch of different stuff like this.
This one, I don't know if that is working or not, but that's the banana is what that one is. There's also, of course, there's the helium effect as well. And I'm not hearing it because I can't hear the playback. I can only hear my.
That's
No,
very
we can hear
healing.
it.
And then earlier there was the auto tune,
Yeah.
the magic chords, and then that. And there's like 100 different ones. So anyway, fun with your iPad.
There
Man
you
of a
go.
million gadgets.
And you've had some good ones out in the last little while. You had some bonus ones, like not just on Sundays, actually.
Yeah, I don't even remember what the bonus one was, to be quite honest. I put one out in the middle of last week, and I don't. Oh, it was Keith from Attack from Down Under had his contest, and I promised Keith I would do a video because I love Keith's channel. I just got really busy, and I got in under the wire. So literally like 2 hours before the contest closed.
Yeah.
I messaged Keith. Keith, the video's recorded. It'll be up tomorrow. He goes, all right, no problem. So that was fun. And then the Sunday video was my wild and crazy weekend with MGK Boston.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it looked like it was fun.
we had a
Look-
great weekend. I love when Mike comes up here, and they live. Buffalo's a lot closer than Boston, so
That looked like a fantastic little venue. It looked small, but it
It
would have
was.
been pretty intimate and awesome to have seen them there, I bet.
it was great. It was great. Good venue, and like what's his name from one of the Trans Canada Highwaymen is coming to that venue in the next few weeks, and
Oh, cool.
Cuff the Duke was there not too long ago, which I had tickets for, but then I didn't go because I think I was sick. But yeah, it's a great venue, great acoustics, second floor of an old bank building downtown. It was a lot of fun. I've seen Whitehorse a bunch of times, including ones with Mike and Patty, so it was good to go see them. We had a lot of fun. I dropped them back. I just picked them up and dropped them off, and that was at like 11:30 at night, and they left at 4 a.m. because they were working the next morning. So they had to
Yeah.
drive from here back to Buffalo, and then get to work. So but it was a lot of fun. So check that video out, and I have no idea what this week's video is going to be yet. We got to figure it out tomorrow so I can shoot it on Friday, but we'll see what it is. Who knows? So. Well, guys, that was a blast. We went 3 hours, and sorry that went so long, but it takes you where it takes you, right? So
Yeah.
All good. Yeah. If people are watching, and even if they're not, I just like hanging out with you guys and talking
absolutely,
about
even
stuff.
if no one watched, I would still do this.
Yeah.
John, thank you, man, for being our guest this week. I always love when you can join us. That was a lot of fun.
Yep.
To the folks watching us live, thank you very much. As always, we really enjoy interacting with you folks. And to the folks that watch this later, thank you for spending a couple hours with us. A lot of fun. Daryl and Joe and I will be back next week with another topic and another guest, and we'll figure that out probably on Monday or Tuesday. So thanks, everybody. Have a great night, and we will catch you next week.
Good night, everyone.